Hello, 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 hello. Can you guys hear me? Am I clear? Am I loud? I'm adjusting myself. Oh, yes. Okay, Apple Blossom, Queen Mod. Welcome in, welcome in. DJ Panel Vibe. Yeah, you're here on time. You get to no lashes today. Nate, I'm not sure how to say your name, hun. Nat Bonafide. No, no, nope, that's not it. Nat Bonadie? Bonadi. Nat, that's what we're going to call you. Hi, Nat. Nice to meet you, Nat. Welcome in. I'm 30 seconds in and I'm already butchering people's names. This ain't cute. This ain't cute at all. Tanika, walk on. Empress Lady Reds. Look at that. Look at that. Um, our guest is already in the studio. I'm not even on camera yet. Hold on. Let me put on my camera. Hi. Hello, beautiful people. Okay, so let me get rid of this headphone. 1 second, because I don't need that. Um, wow, some vintage people rolling up inside here. Olax, welcome in. Nice to see you, love. Happy Wednesday. I almost forgot what day it was, guys. So nice to see you. Nice to see you. Hope you're keeping well. Empress Lady Reds, hello. Tanika, hello. Apple Blossom, my queen, mod. Nat. Well, go on, Nat. We're like old friends now that I butchered up your name. Pano Vibe will be one of the DJs on Born from Music Volume 6. Okay, I'm just scrolling to see who else is here to show that I have some manners. I'm going to bring our guest in. Hi, nephew, DJ Blair. Welcome in. Welcome in. No, I panicked just now, Apple. I'm just like, I know you. I told you the command worked. Was I sure? But yeah, I'm sure the command is there. So I'm looking at our gorgeous guest who is sitting in the back right now. Oh, she can hear me. Oh, this is nice. So I'm going to bring her in right now. There you are. You are just
Hi.
what y'all have branded shirts and everything. Miss Tay, welcome in. Windex 73, Wagwan, Wagwan. Beautiful people, hello. Thank you for joining us. You are in conversation with me, TaptheSoul, and this beautiful soul, Bloodclot Gyal. I am so happy you are here. I'm gushing and ready to cry already, and I'm just going to hold it all in. I want to hold it in. I'm going to just, okay. Forever Kiwi, welcome in, my love. Miss Tay, Warner Baby.
Those are my peeps. Those are
Yeah.
my fans.
I was hoping all your peeps would show up. I know they know the story, but I wanted them to be here to support you. T.E. Dennis, beautiful soul, welcome in. D.H. Lady, hello, beautiful. Hello, hello. Kleenex is handy. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to need it. That's for sure. Okay. So I want to do some housekeeping stuff real quick before we dive into it, right? Because I know, yeah, I could tell. Like, I'll let you get comfortable. Those of you who are rolling in, we did a test yesterday, and I'm just going to be fully honest. I made plans to steal what's on her wall. DJ Blair has taught me well about stealing people's things virtually. So, I just have to show my nephew that I got some. Yeah, it's beautiful. And those who know my Instagram, I've been on a painting frenzy. So that just blends perfectly with my decor. So, I have a blank wall right here. Problem solved. Okay. So we are in conversation with Bloodclot Gyal. We're going to dive into conversation soon. However, I'm so happy you're here. Like, I feel like I'm almost in a fangirl moment right now. I have to contain myself.
I feel that way. Oh my goodness.
No. I'm just a girl in the stream. I say it all the time. Just a girl
I'm
in the
so
stream.
honored. Thank you.
This is beautiful. So, okay. So audience, Dr. C with the resub. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Can you guys hear her clearly? Can you hear me clearly? Can someone give me a 1 or 2 thumbs up? Everything's cool. We sound good. Yeah.
And I'll apologize in advance. I can't do the chat at the same time. I don't know how that works.
Are you in StreamYards right now?
What's that?
The software that the software that we're using right now, along the side, you should see comments.
Oh, okay, that's awesome. Hold on.
Yeah, so and it's pulling in all of the Twitch comments.
Oh, fantastic.
See it. Hey. So the plus. See, there you go.
What?
So she sounds
Blair.
Kaya
Kayla,
P.
Kaya
Yay.
P.
Yes, look at that.
Yes.
Family really rolling in. So some folks are saying you sound a little bit far. Can you turn up your volume or?
I know what might be the problem. I had my fan because, we're at that stage in life where,
I got mine right here. So every once in a while, you guys might hear a shroop shroop. It's, I'm trying to not have you, drippy armpits and.
Right.
Yeah. And I wear a light color shirt because I ain't got no sense. So yeah, sweat marks in areas that there shouldn't be sweat marks. Tap Queen, Snaky the Legend, welcome in. Yeah, Candy Girl sweating. Listen, we're all in that same age group, so I know there's no judgment happening right now. Katie, you are not late, my love. You are right on time because you are here. Welcome to Twitch. I hope you enjoy your experience. Okay.
I really got family in here. My eldest niece just told me that.
See, even Tanika have on the fan. See, I don't feel so bad anymore, Yes. Okay.
Can you guys hear me now?
Keep talking.
Am I clearer? Because everyone knows I got a voice that carries. So
yeah, I still would like you louder. Like, I don't know if there's a way to make you louder. Is your microphone close by?
My mic is with the
webcam.
Yeah, that's probably the problem. There's no way of making it louder.
So
I will just talk loud.
See, you have the old women like myself and Candy Girl. We're just like a little louder, if possible, but it's clear. We can hear.
Okay,
just let me turn up the hearing aid a little bit here. Yeah. Okay. So before we dive in, a couple of things. I'm hoping that everyone's
baby. Thank you. Yes.
Oh, so perfect.
Perfect. My fans.
This is good. Everybody's here. So a couple of things.
Everybody fam. Thank you.
Let's dive in. Go Ratty, welcome in. So Apple Blossom will try to control the questions as much as possible. Those who are new here, I just want to give you guys some housekeeping rules, please, just so we cannot interrupt the conversation. Apple Blossom will try to catch all the questions. She's going to put it in a notes thing. I'm supposed to be paying attention to that. We will stop along the way and ask questions. We'll try to catch as much questions as possible. If we missed your comment, it's not intentional. I really want to dedicate my conversation to my guest, and I want us to be able to get the conversation out clearly to everybody. Everybody who is new to Twitch and showing up here specifically for this lovely lady, thank you very much for being here. We appreciate you. I always say time and energy is non-refundable. And I want to thank you all for taking your time to come here and sit with all of us. Mikey, welcome in. I see you. A few other things. I've added a whole bunch of different emotes. If you sub to my channel, take a look, play around with the emotes while we're here. Why not? And something's telling me that there's stuff going on. Okay. The hype train has started. There we go. That's what's going on. Those who have gifted, let me do this now. If you gift a sub, if you resub, if you drop a bit, whatever you're doing, I don't see it in the software that I'm using. However, I want to tell you that from my soul, thank you. I appreciate you. My mod will shout you out. If I see it, I will shout you out. I always say time and energy. So if I'm not intentionally being rude on missing bits and subs, I just want to make sure everybody's clear on that. And they're not sitting there thinking TaptheSoul ain't got no manners. DJ Jen, welcome in. No smoking, DJ Blair. I have to be on my best behavior. K Sizzle, the best. Welcome in, my love. Anybody's names?
Considering subject matter, let's just yeah.
Nephew, trying to be on my best behavior here. So Dr. C, DJ Blair, who did I miss? DJ Jen, Snaky the Legend, 1010. I thought you stream, by the way. Do you or don't you? For some reason I thought you did. Natty Chanel, hello sweetie, I see you. DH Lady, Go Ratty, Empress Reds, Olox. I'm trying to catch names before I turn my attention over. Windex, we talk all the time. Forever Kiwi, welcome in. Somebody else's name was in here and I missed it. Am I gonna say it right? I'm putting it on the screen. Can you see it?
Lisa.
Another one of her fans. So all of her fans are here. I feel like I need to get your autograph. Like that's where I'm at right now. Okay, so hype train is happening. Those who are contributing, thank you. Normally, when I do this, I actually start with the first question of how did you get your name? We're not going to start there because that's going to take us into the entire conversation, and we just starting. So I'm going to go in a different direction. Where were you born?
Toronto. Well, I rep Scarborough, but born in Toronto.
Okay, she's a Scarborough girl. I see. I don't know if we should be talking. I'm a West girl. I'm a Saga girl. So
Hey,
all these international
guys,
folks right now are just like, oh, these Toronto people.
We know what's up, we know what's up, Scarborough. We know what's up.
Yeah, Beauty Bless, welcome in. So you were born in Toronto. You rep Scarborough. Have you lived in Scarborough pretty much your whole life?
Yeah, from the age of 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, grew up, went to high school. That's my life. Like, that's my world.
Scarborough. You never thought about moving out of the area?
I did, and maybe you'll say it's about 12 years now. A border across.
La Claire, Cambridge is in the house. I used to be a 519 girl. I can rep. I respect the Cambridge. Cambridge is so close to the 401. When you went to Waterloo and Kitchener, that was an extra highway drive, but Cambridge kept you on the 401. J Cap Snaps, welcome in. So you've always lived in Scarborough. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. You went to school there.
Yeah. Some of my old high school friends and colleagues of other high schools that we'd go and visit, like Candy Girl, and Scarborough.
Big up to Candy Girl. We were testing and it was like, yeah, and Candy Girl. I'm like, she's my girl too. Yeah. My Windex 73 girl. She is always cleaning. Always cleaning. Every voice note from her has some type of a chemical product, gloves, broom, vacuum, something. She makes it.
You actually have someone in there cleaning right now.
Candy Girl's probably in. She's cleaning right now.
Oh, you're talking about Candy Girl. Sorry.
Oh yeah. No, I'm talking about Candy Girl. Oh yeah. Love you both. We love you too, Candy Girl. Where's your Windex emote? I don't know. Turn on a stream and get a channel. How about that?
Happy Wednesday.
So music. We're gonna just jump around a bit because I don't want to just dive into your name. Everybody's kind of, I'm sure, like those who don't know are interested in knowing, and those who know are here to support, to hear the story again or hear it more in depth. When it comes to music, your favorite genre of music?
Hip hop.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I actually thought you would have said reggae and dancehall.
No, I'm a Mobb Deep fan to the core, Wu-Tang Clan. Yeah. In fact, my birthday present from my best friend is to see Wu-Tang and Nas. Oh my gosh, Nas. And who else is coming? Oh, geez. Can't remember who else is coming on the bill, but that's my Beyonce.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. See, my Beyonce's Biggie. He's like splashed all over my shelf, all over the place.
Okay, of course.
Yeah.
Let's not play.
We'd be fighting then and we wouldn't be friends. But yeah, you know.
No, we would, Just, Like if Love Jones Boston was in here, it'd be like the whole fight between me and her with Method Man. She seems to think that's her husband. I don't understand what's her problem.
You guys are all disillusioned because I already claimed him, owned him, branded him, and snatched his soul. You do know my name, right?
I'm sorry I didn't tell you about me, so it's okay.
Yeah. You might have been a booty call or something, but that's okay. It's all right. Everybody, look at this. People claiming. Relaxed mood. Welcome in. Some other names here. Dr. Stretch. Welcome in. Toughest. Welcome in. Who else did I see here? Kaya said hello to you already. Debo King. Welcome in, my love. Happy Wednesday.
Right?
Katie. Welcome in. So those who don't know,
sorry, family, because I know my mom's watching this too. And my brother knows I'm crazy, so it's all good.
So I have to be on my best behavior?
No, please. They know I'm crazy.
Okay. Yes, DJ Jen, I snatched your man's soul. And all of you who think you have Method Man, booty calls.
Who said that? I can't read it. Sorry.
DJ Jen.
I'm sorry, I can't read it. Sorry.
I have a pic of Method Man. Hold on, let's catch that one. I have a pic of Method Man showing his 8-pack when him and Red were here last year.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Yeah. And
anything I'd want to say right now? You just said your mom's gonna be like here, so I'm gonna be like,
no.
I'm not saying what I was gonna say.
If my mom really knew my name being Bloodclot Gyal and it's been so embraced, yeah,
she'd probably just holy water all of us right about now because
she wasn't impressed with it in the beginning. So
wow. Precious PG, welcome in, beautiful. So nice of you to join us. We are in conversation with this beautiful soul whose name we are going to be dissecting momentarily. Your heritage. So you love hip hop. I'm a hip hop head as well. People seem to be shocked by that because we hang around dancehall reggae DJs who are also hip hop heads that people don't seem to understand.
Thank you.
It's like you cannot be just one genre. You can be multi-genre. It's allowed. Those who are singular, there's nothing against that as well. But your heritage and your background is Jamaican.
Parents are
right?
Jamaicans, yes.
Okay.
I was born here, Canadian born.
Same.
And parents came here in the late 60s, you know.
Make a life, better life.
You know. Elder siblings are from Jamaica. And so my brother and I, we're the younger two, we're Canadians. So we're the Canadian kids, you know, who wanted fast food for Sunday dinner instead of rice and peas, you know?
No, I wanted the rice and peas. I just didn't want to have to cook it because if you burn the peas.
But we had no other choice because we were eating that along with the carrot juice and the sauerkraut juice.
Yeah.
And you know, the rice and peas and you know, you had no other option. This is the 80s. Your parents weren't sending you to like McDonald's or Burger King.
No. You know?
It's
funny that you say the carrot juice.
All your other friends were allowed to do that, right?
That is true. It's funny you talk about the carrot juice because my mom used to make. She had a special pitcher, and it wasn't clear. So when she'd make carrot and beet juice, you would just think it's fruit punch. So she'd pour it in the cup, and you'd be like, oh. And you're like, no, that's not what you thought it was. And you had to drink it. Like you weren't going to waste the food. So.
But it tastes good. I'm sorry. My dad had a little bit of a sweet hand. My dad could cook very well. So both him and my mom, there was always a debate between mom's dumpling versus dad's dumpling. I liked my dad's dumpling. I liked my dad's porridge over my mom's porridge.
Nice.
My mom could cook, but my dad very well, very, very well. And he was very domesticated, that sort of way. Yeah.
Interesting.
But, you know, he was still very much an alpha Jamaican man.
Yeah. That's a whole other topic right there. For everybody who contributed to the hype train, thank you very much. Thank you again. I'm going to keep saying it. Your time and your energy is it for me. You guys just being here, jamming and vibing with us is a thing. T.I. Baby, I see you, beautiful soul. DJ Killa, welcome in. I'm trying to catch names. If I missed your name, I do have manners and maybe just temporarily, you know, fangirling moment with my beautiful guest that's here with me today. I'm going to continue having you blush because, you know, when I reached out to you and you said yes, I did a happy dance and I was just like, this is so friggin' awesome to get you in a chair to talk. This is nice. For the chat, who doesn't already know, Bloodclot Gyal and I do not know each other. We met on Twitch and became sisters on Twitch. We didn't start talking outside of Twitch until I reached out and asked her to do this conversation. I know nothing about her life other than what I've snooped and found out on her Instagram page. So I'll be learning as you are learning. And my mod is dropping the command right now, !BC is her Instagram page. If you want to get it there, if you're not already following her, please follow her Instagram page. It is very informative. And it's talking about everything, not just what we're going to talk about today, but you're also talking about you show off some fitness and some booty moves with your Jamaica logo all over the place. That's why I was just like, Jamaican. Yeah. Have to be. Yeah. And then there's the man, Mr. Black reaction. Yes, you in the building. Hello, beautiful soul.
Family.
Yeah. It's a little weird being on this side of the camera with him. I'm so used to typing beautiful soul, and now I actually get to say it. Welcome in, love. Thank you for joining us. We are in conversation with Bloodclot Gyal. I'm trying to figure out, do we want to go anywhere else? We talked about music. We talked about backgrounds. Mm-hmm. Twitch. Let's talk about Twitch. Yeah. Your journey to Twitch. How long have you been here?
Wow, goodness. 2020, I think. Don't quote me, but yes, it was 2020 because I was starting from scratch.
That's how we all got here, eh?
Yeah. And he went over. And I didn't use Bloodclot Gyal initially. I used another name. And Superchargy.
7 p.m. crew, yes, yep.
after that, I said, you know what? I'm going to start embracing my
Your
name
journey. Yeah.
because I was taking my page in a different direction from how it initially started.
Okay.
And I was wanting to have a little bit more exposure to what I was doing, the messaging, and awareness around blood clots. So I figured, the best way to do this is to start making myself be known because everything is locked up now. And I started following, starting from scratch, and then it just spawned off onto other DJs that were around, including my brother, which he was on just temporarily, and he goes by the name of DJ Killer Beck, and I just wanted to kind of just gain myself a little bit more exposure, and then what blew my mind, which was not in normal Toronto fashion, was the love.
Yeah.
Was the greetings queen, was
Yeah.
the hello, was the, you could feel it through the actual
Yeah.
screen, the sincerity. And it was shocking. It became addictive. And
It
it
does.
became very addictive at a time where just a year prior to that, I had had my blood clot and I was still recovering physically. I was still temporarily disabled at the time in my feelings at the darkest of darkest moments. Had to have another surgery during that time. So Twitch became a drug for me, became my support system outside of my friends, of course. I inherited a new family.
It's like in your veins. Mr. Music 50, welcome in. And it's interesting. Dr. Jocko, welcome in, hun. It's interesting
Yes.
that you say that because that is exactly what it is, right? When we entered lockdown and we all came over, I also came over because of Scratch and the whole getting kicked out on Instagram every minute. You just get fed up with it.
Yeah.
The sound quality on Twitch was very different than Instagram to begin with. And then it was all the people. And then you started seeing Toronto people. Like a lot of Toronto people didn't know me as TaptheSoul, but I knew people by just who they were. And then you're seeing our DJs, and then you start meeting DJs in other parts of the world, and everybody had love. It was very minimal politics and a lot of love. Tons of love.
And that's not what I was familiar with. Hey, I've been going out, lived in Scarborough, been going out since the age of like 14, went to my first party, Spectrum, by myself. You can ask the crowd who's in here, you can testify.
Yeah.
You don't get that warm reception.
No, Screwface, Toronto Screwface.
Screwface capital.
Yeah.
And to experience that in a mature age was such a beautiful feeling. And it even surprised me when we first had an opportunity to meet each other at Dumpling Fest. Those who know, Dumpling Fest was just another level where we got the opportunity to connect with
everybody,
meet each other.
Yeah.
In flesh, like the hug, the true feeling of like, oh my gosh, your blood clot, Gyal, you're so and so, you're so. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. And
I think we need more of those moments too.
Yeah,
I think there's more.
Yeah, and then I'll tell my friends this who are not on Twitch, and they'll be like, really? Like, really?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's. I can't tell you. It's love. It feels sincere, right?
It definitely does. It definitely does. Yeah, Miss Tate, non-Twitch people won't get it. Yeah. Like when I'm telling people, oh yeah, I'm jumping on a plane and I'm gonna go to the UK and stay in the UK for 2 weeks with somebody I met on Twitch, or just like say, what now? I'm just like, it's not that kind of a meeting. They're like, still, you met somebody online and you're just gonna go to the country and just hang out with them? Yeah, a bunch of us are doing it. It just sounded so foreign.
A good point. The world was kind of unloving during that time. So
yeah.
We were thinking, and then adding extra layers to that while we're going through this together collectively, I'm going through my own form of isolation
journey.
and this new journey on my life that I felt like, oh my gosh, like who is this new Angela now? Like how do I fit into this world now that I'm no longer able to have the stamina to dance? And be that joyful self that I once was prior to my blood clot, because I went into a very dark space during that time. And honestly, Twitch really helped me a great deal.
Definitely, definitely. So here's what we're gonna do. We've talked about your blood clot now a couple of times as what you're saying in your dark time. So I think that answers the question about your name, but let's formally give the people an answer. Your name, where does it reside from? And give us a little bit more history behind it. And I know you know why I'm going there, because DJs are fearful to say your name.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if Snakey the Legend is still in here, he's one. And I will always pick on him because his face was priceless. Absolutely priceless. So let me turn the mic over to you.
All right. So it was towards the end of my 3 months in hospital. So I had spent 3 months in hospital, and I was getting overwhelmed by friends and family, trying to find out how am I doing, what's going on, and even myself feeling very confused with my temporary disability, and in addition to myself just feeling very overwhelmed by responding to each and every one. So I figured, hey, let me create an Instagram page. So the day in which I created this Instagram page just to secure it, I wasn't settled with the name. I didn't like it. And to be honest with you, don't ask me what it is, because as soon as I got this name, so my friend Andrea, who's in the room, had come by to visit me. And I was saying to her, I'm going to create this page and I just don't know the name. The name's not really working for me, right? And she said, well, so she mentioned to me that her and her work colleague call me Bloodclot Gyal. And how it came about is because, unfortunately, that summer she had her good friend who had cancer, and her parents in hospital at the same time, alongside with myself, and it made it very difficult for her, obviously, dealing with, the emotions of all of us being unwell. And one of her colleagues had asked her, hey, how is your friend doing? Sure enough, her quickest response was, who, the blood clot gal? And the two of them died. So unknown to me, she's been calling me this. Okay. She comes now to the hospital to come visit me. And of course, I tell her that I'm struggling with the name, and she says to me, well, we call you this. I died. Like, I couldn't even stop laughing. You would have thought like it was like Dave Chappelle and his good days, telling some sweet joke, or like Mike Epps. Like, I was dying. And I said, yo, I'm going to take that name. I ran with it. I secured it, a domain for it. I secured the business name for it. So anyone out there, it's my name. It can't.
Claimed.
It's
claimed. Tashi, welcome in. Disco Darren, welcome in. Joy Rain, welcome in. Yeah. And it's interesting. Like, it really does stick, right? I'm just looking to see if there's anybody else we missed there. Like, yeah, the name really sticks. Now, we in the chat who are of West Indian backgrounds, we may have issue about that name. And what do you say to that?
Well, I've had a few encounters, even good friends of mine, when I've reached out to them with the name, and the first thought was like, oh, I saw the name and I was like, I wasn't going to accept the request. When they realized it was me, they were shocked that I would call myself Bloodclot Gyal. I've had a very close friend of mine, to be clear, may he rest in peace. He said to me, I don't like that name. You're pigeonholing yourself. Flippers.
Disco Darren. So let me just pause for 1 second. My lovely guest is Bloodclot Gyal, who is about to tell us her journey and story on wellness and blood clot overall. She has been on Twitch for a number of years. She is not a streamer. She is not a DJ. She is a mod for Black Reaction and for Mr. Blacks. Anybody else?
No, just Mr. Black.
Wow. See, I never mind. That's a different conversation. It's nice to be a mod for just a DJ.
I can't. I'm not an octopus.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm in a lot of spaces already.
No,
You know how? Hold on. Do you know how often he's online?
he's not
That's a,
often.
that's a full-time job.
Yeah.
He's on every night
Yeah.
talking. Come on, let's sleep
You
as
see,
a
the
family.
apple
Talk.
blossom is giving me eyes. I'm just like, I'm going to be on my best behavior, guys. I'm good. I'm good. So, yes, for those who do not know, my guest today is Bloodclot Gyal, and we are learning about her journey. So, I actually want to take you back one step. You mentioned that you're already in the hospital. Six Boss, welcome in. If those who are not following, please give her a follow. Are you comfortable? Are you comfortable with sharing the reason why you ended up in the hospital? Because I don't know if that does that tie into it, or is that?
This is definitely important to the conversation, actually. So I guess what we'll have to do is give you a little bit of a brief backgrounder on how things went down. So in July of 2019, I started having a sharp pain in my lower part of my stomach, and at the time, I might put out some disclaimers for those individuals that might be a little squirmish discussing any female issues. You're free to mute or block or come back if you wish, if you don't want to hear it. But it's not going to be graphic. But I just want to be mindful that some individuals, male or female, might not like conversations of this sort. But it will be very detailed and of course very um, protective of not being too gross. But anyhow, long story short, started having these extreme pains in my lower stomach. Thought it was my menstrual. I was on my cycle at the time, and the pain started say the Saturday. 2 days later, on the Monday, the pain was coming and going, a stabbing like feeling in my lower part of my stomach, and I thought, this is weird. I don't think I thought it was my period because at the time I had just realized my fibroids had come back. I had always had challenges with fibroids. So I woke up. I'm giving you the most condensed version of this. I woke up on the Monday morning and I couldn't get up. I couldn't move. I couldn't move off the bed. I couldn't move left or right. I was completely paralyzed to the bed. So fortunately, I wasn't home at the time. I was attending to my mother's care, and my brother had just left for work, and he was there for me to call back and tell him that I'm not able to go to work that day, because what we normally did at the time, we had our support staff come in and help with her care. So I had this pain. I called telehealth. Telehealth is like, based on my history, because at this point I had already had a blood clot in 2014, and I had explained to them that I had a blood clot in 2014. Not sure what this pain is, but this pain is very unusual. I'm actually paralyzed in my bed. I can't get up. And so the nurse enforced that I go to the nearest hospital. Because the nearest hospital, unfortunately, is in Scarborough. This is where the little bit of that comes in, and it comes to Scarborough's healthcare, unfortunately. And I don't live in Scarborough right now. In Scarborough, the hospital that I'm referring to we've had a bad history with it within our family of being misdiagnosed or just not supported in the best way. So I decided that it was best that I go to the hospital that was closest to my house because A, they already had records of my blood clot. B, yes, the pain was extremely intense. B, I figure because they had the records and because they had a rep in my eyes, I figured, hey, it's safe to go there. So I go to the hospital. I'm in extreme pain, stabbing in my lower part of my stomach, so I thought. And I spent 10 hours in the hospital in total, waiting and plus being assessed.
Wow.
During the time of assessment, what happened is they did blood work, they did a urine sample, they did an ultrasound. And the doctor came back to me and said to me, I'm sorry, but I can't figure out why you're experiencing this pain. At the time, I was very active in the gym. I was going to the gym 3 to 4 days out of the week. And I figured, hey, you know what? Maybe it's something, I'm not sure what it is, but he said to me, it's most likely just a strain in your groin, and that I'll bet you $10,000 that's what it is.
Did you get your $10,000?
Oh, hold on. No, I haven't. But I said to him, I said, there must be something else that you could do to verify, like, just rule it out completely. So he did a CT scan, and CT scan came up with nothing as per his report. So for the next 2 days, I just was going through like the worst pain. The pain would come intensely, like as if someone was stabbing me in my lower stomach. And then it would go away. And then it would come hard again, and then it would go away. So it happened for like a duration of 2 days. At that point, I was like, you know what? I got to go to my family doctor because something's not right. I go to my family doctor. Unfortunately, the report from the hospital emerged was very vague, and he was unable to determine what was wrong with me. So he said to me, you know what? Come back in in 2 more days, because let's make sure your period is done. So we can go over the urine test again and run all the tests, the blood work again, to make sure that maybe nothing was tampered that way. Well, the very next day, I didn't make it. The very next day, my leg was so swollen, so tight feeling, that I was like, something's not right. So I went home from my mom's house. I went home. Sorry, sometimes when you think about it, it's like, wow, it's unbelievable the things that I went through.
If at any point in time you need to take a moment, like I also want you, this is personal, guys. I just, T. Dennis, right? Like I think we can all relate to this in some ways closer than others. So if any point in time, anyone in the chat, if you're feeling uncomfortable, if you need a moment, there's some holy water there. Please take a sip and just step back and just don't feel like you have to engage. And for you, hun, honestly, if you need to take a moment and, turn the camera off and take a minute, turn it off and take a minute. I do not want you to feel you're reliving it as you're talking about it, right?
Yeah, so, of course.
Your own pace.
But I think it's important for me to share this journey.
It is.
The purpose that there were a lot of things I was ignorant towards, even despite the fact that I already had a blood clot 5 years prior to that. Because the symptoms in which I had did not relate. They were not the same. They were completely different. They presented differently.
So what you had in 2014 and what you're going through at that point in time, they weren't even, so you couldn't even pinpoint
there was
similarities.
No swelling. There was no pain in the leg, which is normally what they say to look out: tenderness in the leg, warm to touch, swelling. That didn't present itself until 5 days later, basically.
Whoa.
So, went home, took a shower, almost fainted in my apartment, called my doctor to tell him I'm coming back because I want you to, thank you, Glorati. I want you to, I called my doctor to say, hey, I don't know what's going on, but I'm not feeling well and I'm scared, right? So he told me to come back to his office. I struggled. I got all my stuff together because I was like pissed at this point, because what's wrong with me, right? I started feeling faintish. I felt like as if I was having a fever. I almost fainted in my elevator. I had to keep breathing. I called the Uber to take me. The Uber found me there's a bench outside of my place, lying there. He pulled up and I had to wave at him to say, it's me, because that's how sick I was. So I got into the Uber, went to my doctor's office, and immediately as he saw me, he's like, oh my gosh. He looked at my leg and he's like, I think you have another blood clot. And I just broke down. And I said to him, what am I going to do? Go back to the hospital for them to send me back home in a body bag? So he wanted me to go to the nearest hospital, which was the hospital I had said I'm not going to initially.
Yeah.
But again, I was determined, no, bonfire upon the hospital that I actually went to. I want to show them that they made a flippin' ass mistake. I want to make sure that they understood what wrongs they did for me. And then also, I didn't want to waste time running through assortment of tests that they already ran through already, because now we're on a time right now. Right?
Yeah.
So I go back to the hospital. I don't know how I even came out of the Uber. I come out of the Uber. I found a wheelchair, got into the wheelchair, went up to the triage. But prior to that, I should add, my doctor wrote a note for me for them to rule out that it wasn't another blood clot. Go back and I'm in triage and I blasted the triage lady. I'm like, listen, I am not going home. Poor girl's like, I have nothing to do with it.
She's just trying to do her shift.
I have nothing to do with this, but I said, I have a note from my doctor. You guys need to rule out that it's not another blood clot. Within 3 hours, they had me assessed and admitted. And they discovered that I had a massive blood clot that had already gone up to my groin, so they thought. The blood clot was so massive that the doctor was like, you know what? And he was a nice guy. Because I've gone to that hospital before, so I've had him before. And so he remembered me. He got me tea, and he said to me, we're going to keep you overnight so that you feel safe. Like, we want to make sure that you're okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that overnight turned out to be 2.5 weeks at that same hospital. And then 2.5 months in rehab, learning, gaining support to walk. So for the first 5 days, I was in excruciating pain. I was vomiting. I had high fever, constantly vomiting. They didn't know what was wrong. I had started having tight chest pain on day 3. I thought it was just my anxiety. When I casually told the nurse, fortunately, my friend's mother, who was a retired nurse, was there when I was telling her I was having tightness in my chest, and she said, listen, hey, make sure you tell the nurse. Yeah. So I told her like a matter of fact. I'm thinking, what? It can't be nothing, right?
Yeah.
So I'm ignorant, totally ignorant. They immediately brought me to get a CT scan, and then they discovered that I had clots in both of my lungs.
How did it?
How did they miss it? I don't know. How did they miss the blood clot in the first place? I don't know.
Yeah. Like, they're medical professionals trained, right?
Job properly. They weren't looking for what they were looking for. God knows what they were looking for. But yeah.
Welcome in, Scorpion. A lot of us here, can I just say you are not alone? There are many people in the chat where they're explaining, it's sounding familiar for them, right? And whether it is specifically blood clot or not, like, everybody seems to be having a really similar story. I know I have my own as well, and I know a few other people in here have had theirs. DH lady, they move quickly. Yeah, they do, but I don't think I realized that they can move quickly and grow like that. I just thought it's just like something you get in a part of your body, right?
So the pain that I was having that was coming hard and going was the clot moving.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's what I come to understand. The clot was moving at those times. So what ended up happening is, of course, they realized that I had clots in both of my lungs, but the pain and the vomiting wasn't going away. And so I had repetitively told the doctor, something is wrong. This is not normal. I didn't never experience this. I never experienced a fever and then vomiting and all of this. And then my inability to walk was much greater than when I first went in there.
Yeah.
And I said, this is unusual. And he says, oh, this is normal to blood clots. This is normal. Again, gaslighting me, telling me, dismissively that, basically it is a part of having a blood clot. So it was maybe about day 6 at this point. They finally got a medical internist to come in to assess me because, again, why am I vomiting if I don't have an infection, right? Why am I having fevers, right? And I don't have an infection. The medical internist took one look at me and he's like, listen, they got to do something more aggressive with you. They're not working hard enough. And so he spoke to the medical team.
Yeah.
And that's when they started to put things in motion, where they then went into my leg by putting in a needle in my vein to blast the clot, so some fluid to blast the clot. Keep in mind, I'm awake for this.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
They didn't give me strong enough medication.
Mm-mm.
So
Mm-mm.
would you believe that I felt it?
Mm-mm.
There was a point, one of my friends could probably testify to this, that they had to call the cardiac team because I had passed out.
Oh my gosh.
It was that intense. Um, so they attempted to blast it. They put a stent in my leg, and they had me in ICU for like 2 days, and they put me back on the ward because the hospital in which I went to did not have a step down. They only had their ICU or the ward. Put me back into the ward. At this point, I don't think they had me on the proper dosage of blood thinners. Started me with therapy like the next day, and that same day, about 5 days later, I had new clots develop in my leg again. They had to rush me back to ICU again. But before that, I was telling the nurse that something doesn't feel right with my leg. And the nurse says to me, it's probably the lotion you're using on your skin. It's probably irritating your skin. Again, not believing me.
This is where Jesus would have to take the wheel, because I don't think I would be calm, cool, and collected that you're
But at
going to
this point,
degrade it
I
with
don't know
lotion.
what's happening, right? So, of course, I just allowed her to say her BS. The doctor came in shortly after, and I said to the doctor, I said, hey, I don't feel right. My leg doesn't feel good. It feels worse than when I first came in.
Yeah.
And immediately he rushed me down to do an ultrasound on my leg. And sure enough, they found new clots in my leg. New clots in my leg. They had to go back, do the procedure again. During both procedures, they had to give me fentanyl. I heard them at one point saying, get the fentanyl! Because, yeah, I was in excruciating pain through that procedure. So to say that I had any confidence with them, zero.
No.
Every week, I demanded basically for them to do a reassessment to check if there's any new clots in my leg, because I was scared.
But they should have automatically been doing that, wouldn't you think? Like, if you're seeing that they keep re-showing, like reappearing, like new ones are appearing.
I had to demand it. I forget the name of the doctor. I'm so sorry with the words here. They are oh goodness. She's not a thrombosis specialist, because the thrombosis specialist in which was overseeing my case was on vacation and couldn't, have any opportunity to talk to me, to reassure me in any way. So they had a substitute doctor come in.
Hematologist.
Hematologist, thank you.
T.E. Dennis is definitely, I guess, speaking from experience, the way she just like typed that error-free, just like that. Beautiful. Yeah. Yeah.
And so they were fighting me about doing the test again. And I just had to keep reminding them, listen, I'm not going home in a body bag. I got things to do. And I had to keep reminding them that, listen, you guys made a mistake with me initially when I first came in here. Please, I'm demanding that that I get this test done. So it was obvious based on my leg and the swelling and everything happening that I would have required rehab. And so I went to, it's called Bridgepoint, which is located off of Broadview. And I went to Bridgepoint, and they were amazing and supportive in so many different ways outside of the physical, in helping me with my mobility. Yeah.
I just want to pause right there. So, Six Boss, there's no wrong way to ask a question. Exclamation mark is just if you, just type question. Exclamation mark asks, Hashtag ask. Don't worry, we'll catch the question. You were trying to understand how did they develop so fast? If I caught your question properly, do you have an answer for that from what you've learned so far, or?
What I've learned is basically they did not have me on the proper strength of blood thinner medication.
Okay.
So from my knowledge, the medication is also dependent on your weight as well too. And I believe that they didn't give me something that was strong enough. Simple as that. As simple as,
Wow.
and because of how massive the blood clot was, and because of something else I'm going to mention to you guys, the blood clot wasn't just something that came out of the blue. At the time, we all thought that, well, the doctors thought that I had what's called May-Thurner syndrome. And what May-Thurner syndrome is when the artery and the vein run very close together. So they basically are applying pressure on one another.
On each other, yeah.
Right? And so this tends to happen to predominantly most females, 40 and up. Some have had it earlier than that. There are cases of that sort. But anyhow, because my veins were compromised in that way, in addition to the fibroids that I had, they were enlarging my uterus 10 times the size that it should have been.
Wow.
So this enlarged uterus that was 10 times its size was applying pressure to my already compromised veins, which then made me more susceptible to getting a blood clot, unknown at the time.
And not having the symptoms that you would have had before, that you would have caught it if you saw that there was some similarity.
Had I known,
yeah.
Hey, I've been going to my doctors from when? Hey, wouldn't it have been something that you should have said, hey, you know, fibroids can potentially cause blood clots.
Yeah, yeah.
What about when I had my first blood clot? No one ever said anything of that sort, but they thought, oh, this is odd. You're in good health. You're not obese. You're not bedridden. You didn't have surgery. You're not pregnant. All the list of high risk potential reasons of you having a blood clot, they thought it was just a one-off.
Yeah.
They didn't realize. They thought, in fact, they blamed it on the fact that I went and traveled just a few weeks prior to that on a flight which was just simply 4 hours and came back. And yes, I'll admit that that flight traveling from Jamaica to Toronto, I had drank the night before, so I was dehydrated.
Yeah.
I was wearing, you know, cute heels. And I was sandwiched between two gentlemen and on my flight that I didn't get up. And so thanks wisdom.
Yeah, you know what? And I just want to say, like, this is why I wanted to do this, right? This isn't, I think it's important that, yes, I talk to DJs, yes, I talk to streamers, but like, this is our community, guys. These are our people, right? Like, we should be talking about these stories so we know and we learn. And it's just, yeah, it is. F-Boz, I see you, Mr. Wisdom. Did I say that right, Mr. Wisdom? Yeah, that's the name. Welcome in. Nice to see you. Tasha BG, welcome in. Mo Life, hello. There's some other names. If I didn't say hi, we are in conversation with Bloodclot Gyal, and she is telling us the story and the journey that she has been through. And I noticed there's some people where they've mentioned that it's infuriating. It's giving them triggers. They can relate to it. They've had similarities. And I'm going to continue saying, if you are having a moment and you are not okay, please just say you are not okay. If you need support, if you need to step away, same goes for my guest, right? Even I'm having a moment right now because I'm just thinking we can all share a story. So, and it is important that we talk about it. It's never pleasant, but we have to talk about it because we take things for granted. Like, how many times you just, as you said, you're wearing heels. Oh, my ankle hurting me. I just wear a little heel and and then it's something totally different, right? And I think we do that a lot. Dryfoot Andre, wow, vintage. Welcome in, welcome in.
That goes to, and I'll put a pause on my most recent blood clot to just tap into that conversation about my first blood clot. It presented with a bruising feeling on my leg. It presented with pain in my leg, but I thought, I must have hit my leg. I used to work out very heavily, and I was doing weights, all the time. And I thought, well, maybe I just did too much on leg day. It was totally different, the experience in terms of the symptoms that I experienced with the first blood clot from the second one.
And I think that's it. A Black Reaction Sound is Super K, is it not? Welcome in. Please give a shout out to
Yes,
Super K.
Super
Welcome
K.
in.
It's hot.
Burpee's boss. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
That's Katie.
It's beautiful that everybody is actually here to hear the story. And I know a lot of you know the story, and I'm glad that you're all here to support our girl. It's vulnerable. It's intimate. It's private, and you're reliving it, with all of us. So just so you know that we are sitting here, I always say on the bench, we are here with you in love. So yeah. Okay, so I want you to continue speaking where you're comfortable, because
I'll be honest with you. I've had a lot of opportunities to talk about my journey. I've been a keynote speaker for Toronto Hospital, talking about my journey to find ways in which they can learn to listen, learn to find better patient-focused care. I've talked to a variety of learners groups with other hospitals as well.
Yeah.
So this is not my first time exposing and talking about my situation. Where it is my first time exposing it is to you guys.
Yes.
Outside of the hospital setting, which is a little bit more safer because they all have their understanding that these conversations are private, et cetera, et cetera. But in addition to that, I felt I needed to speak to them first, more for a therapeutic experience, more for me to be able to really truly embody being that voice for others. There are others that I know, may they rest in peace, who are no longer here today. People that I don't know, that friends of mine know, may they rest in peace today. That I'm very grateful that I'm here today and I'm able to talk about my story and my journey. And I'm able to make sure that I share what I went through in its truest form, because I myself had a lot of ignorance attached to understanding what a blood clot is and what it can potentially do. And so,
Apple Blossom, thank you. I was just about to say, can we put some hearts in the chat, prayer hands, those who we have lost, whether we know them or not, and celebrate the fact that this beautiful soul is here to share her story and hopefully teach us something about our own journeys within our healthcare.
And that's exactly why the journey that I've had, I often say it's bittersweet. It was hard, and it still is hard. But where the sweet part is that, as I mentioned, I'm here as a voice. I'm here to share my journey in hopes of others, such as myself or friends, can help others as well through my journey.
Yeah.
I just recently, just before coming on, a friend of mine shared with me something really beautiful. And give me 1 second. I'm just, again, not going to mention their name. A friend of hers was having some problems with her leg. And she says she saw the post of the podcast today,
Yeah.
the conversation, and she said, it's so crazy. Last night I was in Emerge getting my leg checked to make sure that I didn't have a blood clot. Your post about blood clot, Gyal, popped up. I watched her reel about what to do when in hospital, what to ask for, and not to go home before being thoroughly checked. Life always sends you gifts and signs. So grateful. Sometimes I feel I'm wasting my time. Sometimes I feel, what am I going to do this something for? I'm not make no money off of it.
It's not about the money, though, isn't it?
And I'm a private person, believe it or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not
But
about
for
the
me
money.
to do this, it's
This.
big. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah.
But I really believe that there's not a lot of us out there here in Canada talking about it. When I was researching about blood clots, I didn't see me.
No. No. And that is, you know what, Kaya, exactly. You are saving lives. And that's not always an easy shoulder to carry, burden to carry on the shoulder, but it's very, really necessary. Yeah, you're not wasting your time. If you get one person, that is a blessing. Yeah. You're making all of us right now. There's names in this chat that I know, including myself and my own health journey. You are making us on a different level of self-awareness and taking us out of our ignorance. We are very notorious for just, oh, I have a pain there. The doctor said this. Let me take these 2 tablets and I'm going to this and I'm going to that. And you don't do any proper self-care because we get up every day. We take it for granted. We get up every day, right? And we keep moving. So, yeah.
So
Yeah.
So my journey continued, and when I got to the rehab place, it was like night and day between the 2 facilities. The hospital felt like ground zero, camp backyard, like some nastiness. Like every day, I'm like, yo, can I get a bucket so I can just wipe my armpits, please? Can I just wipe my privates, please? Can someone help me bathe today? Like, hi. Oh, not today, Angela. Not today, Angela. I stunk. I was nasty when I got to rehab. When I got to rehab, it was like, you know that, I don't even know. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
like walls were white to the point where they shine. My eyes are like, people are coming up to me. Hi, Miss Beckford. Hi, Miss Beckford. I'm so and so. I'm the business associate. I'm the pharmacist. I'm the physiotherapist. I'm your doctor.
It's like
I'm
night
your
and day.
nurse. So much of you. And immediately they're like all up in my parts, throbbing, and I'm like, can you just bathe me first? Because I felt so disgusting.
Dirty. Yeah, yeah.
I had like maybe 1 or 2 nurses for the, I don't know, 3 weeks I was in the hospital in acute. Look, 3 weeks I was in acute care. One nurse, no, 2 nurses that cleaned me, read me out, cleaned me properly to the point where I was like, yo, it's okay, I can do it myself.
You're getting a little too personal there, right?
It was like great, but it came far, like it wasn't consistent.
Yeah, yeah.
So when I got to the rehab and all of a sudden they're in my parts and I'm like, yo, can I bathe first? They're like, no. We'll have to take you to the shower. You can't be by yourself. Every day on schedule. I had a bath. Every day they wheeled me in. It was mind blowing. Not to mention the supports, as I was going to highlight. Yeah. I had a social worker immediately come up to me, and the social worker came up to me and she's like, listen to me. I'm going to be real honest with you. What happened to you is because of the fact that you were a single Black woman. Had you been married, came in with maybe even a white husband, keep in mind this individual, she's white herself. She said to me, had you come in with a white husband, what you went through, you wouldn't have gone through what you went through. And I just want to let you know I'm here to support you in any way that I can. And that's when I broke.
Miss Kay, it is heartbreaking. Yeah.
All this time I'm thinking, maybe I didn't say it right. Maybe I was too nice when I went to triage. Maybe I didn't overemphasize and exaggerate. Oh, I'm in pain. Oh. Maybe they didn't believe me when I said my leg was hurting me, and that's why the lady said it's the soap, the lotion I'm using. Like, maybe that's why they gave me the juke in my leg without much medication. Yeah. To send the cardiac team to come check, to almost basically call me gone. Or maybe it's because supporters, while I was in acute care, they're transferring me from the ICU back to the ward, and they ripped out my my intravenous, which had my blood thinner in it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because maybe they just made a mistake. My brother was fuming that night. I ended up having a panic attack because I felt so unsafe in that environment. So I go to this new, polished, clean aesthetic. Oh, we're offering you services that you didn't even ask for, and we're also going to support you so much that we're going to make sure that you have meditation classes. You're going to see a psychotherapist. We're going to actually have games nights for you. You're gonna make jewelry like as if you're 5 years old. You're gonna learn to walk, and we're gonna cheer you on, and we're gonna support you every which part of the way. And I spent 2.5 months as if I was on vacation, but I wasn't on vacation. But that's how it felt. I felt cared for.
And that's something like that's something that we definitely have to talk about. I know that there are other people in this chat that are not Black. I don't care if you want to call us African American or whatever other, we're Black. If there are folks who are non-Black here, please do not take offense.
Yes.
I'm going to hope that you are intelligent enough and you can Google the care for Black women and Black men is very different than the care for those of other denominations. DJ Gritty, welcome in. And I think it's important that whether you're here and you've never heard it before, you need to hear it. It is our reality, Mr. Wisdom, exactly. And there's many of us who go through it. Thank you, Katie. I really appreciate that because Empress Jasmine, there are people who are going to hear this. I'm going to be posting this on YouTube, and someone's going to be like, "Oh, they're all about this." No, this is true stories. And somebody mentioned it earlier about people dying, Black women dying through childbirth. Like these are real stories, right? Like this is real truth. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure I called that. Oh, Mrs. I'm sorry, Mrs. Wisdom. I didn't mean to butcher your name, beautiful. Sorry about that.
I appreciate you mentioning that too, because that was part of my difficulty in connecting the dots of it being a race-related thing, because we're conditioned to, oh, no, it's not, because Canada doesn't do things the way America does. It's not as blatant and in your face as America. So maybe I'm misinterpreting it. And then I work in academics, and so you're basically always like biting your tongue to things or just accepting it and smiling because you want to keep your job, right?
Yeah.
So then you come into this space of health where you're thinking, no, it's Canada. It's your health.
Everybody should be aware.
Yeah. No one treats Black people differently.
Yeah. ACAP as well. Indigenous people as well. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, and I like that, if you could just highlight Black Reaction statement. Make sure you take your vitamin D. And that's something I want to circle back to as well, too.
Yeah, please.
My diet at the time, I was a vegan. I didn't eat meat at all. But I was a junk food vegan. I worked. I took care of my parents, shifts alongside with my siblings. I worked out 3 to 4 days out of the week. I would walk, if anyone knows Scarborough, McCowan and Shepherd to Don Mills and Shepherd on a Saturday after doing a double class. I was active. I partied. I had a social life. I was busy. But that busyness, single girl living, girl dinner, you ended up eating, foods that are quick.
Feel right? Judged right now because that's exactly what I did before I came to turn on the stream.
Girl dinner, right? That's just it, being real. So I lacked eating enough nutrients. I lacked taking my vitamins on a consistent basis. I thought, oh, I'm vegan. I'm good. I don't need those substitutes because they tell you, if you're eating proper, you don't need to substitute. So I wasn't really on the vitamin flex. And I will tell you this right now, everyone. I'm not a medical physician, but your vitamins are so critical, especially your B12. And don't be mistaken. You don't need to be a person who eats meat to get all your vitamin B12. Your
Interesting.
B12 is, you're not getting enough of it from the meats that you're eating, even if you eat meat.
Yeah.
But we all need supplements, especially B12, my zinc, my iron. I was anemic.
Many of
My
us have
vitamin
that iron
D,
deficiency anemic.
yeah, my vitamin D was terrible. There was a point when I was in the hospital that the food was so horrible because I was on my vegan lifestyle. I didn't want any meats or anything. I don't drink milk, so I'd be drinking soy, not soy, what is soy? Rice milk with my brand cereal. They'd give me salads that tasted like as if, I don't know, it was plastic. I would drink the broth of whatever vegetable broth. There came to a point where I was malnourished. And the nutritionist had to talk to me and say to me, you need to eat. I was malnourished.
Wow.
So vitamins are very critical. Thank you, Super K, for bringing that up. Very critical. You can't talk to me now. I take my omega. I take my vitamin D, my magnesium, my, which one again? What am I looking at right now? My probiotic. Like, I'm on it. I'm probably missing something, but I take my vitamins, my supplements, my B12 drops under my tongue. Like, I'm on it. I'm on it. Yes,
Get
complex.
B
Yes,
complex, all your
yes,
B's. Yeah.
yes, Super K. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm on it. So that's important for your blood flow, especially the B, especially B12,
Yeah. I
especially
just
and
want to,
keep.
I pin that comment because I think it's important. Black Super K, yo, we got to talk. But everything has to be consistent. And I think that's where we fall off. I'll say for myself, I have zinc, I have
Ethan, now.
B12. There's some other vitamins I need to take for my own things that I have. I'm having a connection. Are we here? We're good, right? Can you guys still see us?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I froze on my side, but I think we're back. Okay, that's good. So yeah, I think a lot of us, we take it for a week, we take it for 2 weeks, we start to feel good, we skip a day there, we skip a day there, and then before you know it, 2 weeks have gone, and the vitamins are sitting on a counter growing dust.
Where
Yeah,
I
glitch.
started
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
more, when I started to be more consistent, if I'm going to be completely transparent, wasn't until about a year ago that I started to really be more consistent because, as I mentioned earlier, I had wellness challenges after my blood clot because of the trauma. Um, Life faced me, right? Almost died. You couldn't even tell me what my work colleagues' names were. I couldn't even tell you what I did in my job.
You had to
I
start from
couldn't,
scratch.
I was like, my brain went into a reset completely. And so with that, I struggled. And I struggled and I discovered um, some wellness challenges. And I recognized that I'm not a pill person. So unfortunately, hold on, I need to apologize to Miss BC
Snakey
for
the
refusing.
legend. No, yeah.
Don't worry, don't worry. There's others who are probably not here, or if they are listening in the background, who refuse to say my name.
No, Love King. No, that's why we were saying to you, it's okay to say the name, right? Key Stay Woke, Jam Fam, welcome in. Anybody who have missed, welcome in. You are in conversation with Bloodclot Gyal and myself, TaptheSoul. We are talking about her journey and bringing awareness to all of us. I think this is a conversation not even just about you, but it's about all of us.
Yeah.
Because I'm reading the chat, and a lot of us have done that. We take the vitamins, we put it down. You know, this pain sounds familiar. That story sounds familiar. I've been through it before. So you are definitely doing the right thing. You are living your truth and living your purpose. Yeah. Continue, please. Continue.
So I'm more consistent now. And what I recognize is that I was having a lot of brain fog, and I wasn't really able to focus. And as I said, I had lapse in memory. And I thought it was other things, which I won't discuss on the channel. And I decided that, you know what, let me start making sure that I kind of research brain health. In addition to the fact that I have a parent that is challenged with her brain health right now. And so it just hit me that I said, you know what, I got to be more consistent. So I started with the vitamin D's more consistently, got real good quality vitamin D's that really rock my bank account. And the omega, I researched the right omega to take as well too. And it's helped a great deal. The brain fog is not there as it was before. But I'm still working through other challenges, which I refuse to take medication that had been prescribed to me, because I just feel that that's not going to help me. And I have a great medical team which is in support of me, because they recognize that I'm not going to do that. And they've been encouraging me to, you know, find ways to, you know, find even my diet, eating more greens, and stuff of that sort. So it's a slow crawl. We're human. We all, you know, I love bread. I love hardo bread.
Oh, the thick slice. Cut that myself. I don't want the pre-cut.
I don't buy it, but my family buys it. So when I'm there supporting my mom's care,
it's only right. You don't want the bread to go to waste. Yeah, you have to catch a little slice. Yeah. You know, you touched on something, and I think I had tagged it in one of the for a comment, JCap, and that is the cost. There are many times I've gone in the health food store and I go to pick up something and I'm seeing, you know, $67, and I'm just like, Erks! And I'm just like, I'm going to go find the cheaper version of it. And then I catch myself and be like, but wait, like the cheaper version is not better because I'm saving money. Like just spend the money and just get the right thing. But you do have to do your research, because some of them also price it in a way because they're thinking, okay, they're going to buy the most expensive because they're going to think it's the best. And sometimes it's not the best. So you really have to do your research. Yeah. You can't put a price on our health. Yeah. Olax. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what I've discovered that too. Because there's so many brands out there. There's so many brands out there that are fictitiously selling these garbage out to us, right? So if you don't read the back, check to really ensure that they have third-party testing, and ensure that you're not taking, for example, a magnesium that's going to make you shit out your pants every 5 minutes. And you don't need it for that reason, you know? Even down to the vitamin D, like you've really got to make sure that you're getting good quality. And I do end up spending a great amount of my income on my vitamins.
We have to. We have to. I mean, even the foods we consume, it's the same thing. Every time I go to the grocery store, which doesn't feel like I've been doing that much lately, just to out myself. When I go in there, I'm frustrated because I'm just like, I'm buying the same things I bought just 2 weeks ago, and it's costing me more. It's the same brands, it's the same things, but I'm walking out and thinking, wait, how did I just walk out and spend more for the same 10 items that I buy every 2 weeks? Like, it just doesn't make sense.
Watch the plug-in. This is super
Say it again?
The plug. I have a nutritionist that sells everything organic.
Oh yeah.
I'm not laughing. I just know he's very, very caring that way. Appreciate
But that's the investment that you have to, like, you're investing in your life. Right? It's the longevity of your life.
But the pricey part,
it's hard.
It is hard, especially right now. Like, I went to the grocery store just the other day and I spent close to $200, and I'm just by myself. And that might last maybe 2 weeks. And most of it was greens.
Yeah.
telling me. And
That
veggies
don't last long like they
I have
used
to
to.
chop it up and put it in the freezer real quick.
Yeah.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's a big
But
pain point.
going back to circling back again to
Sure.
the diet. The diet played a part in my blood clot, the inflammation in my body, the blood not circulating the way it should have, because of my predisposed issues as well, made things even more susceptible to having a blood clot. Now we're not see-through, and no one would ever imagine someone like myself who was working out, who was vegan, who was taking care of herself,
To be in the
that I would have
situation.
had in the situation that I was in.
Yeah.
The doctor, in fact, that finally ended up surfacing just a few minutes before my discharge to the rehab, said to me, "Oh, you'll be back on your feet in 2 weeks." Well, it was 2.5 months in rehab. I left rehab with a walker. I couldn't cook for myself. I was
The
peeing
ignorance,
myself,
right?
waking up to go to the washroom because I couldn't walk quick enough. I couldn't walk across the street with my walker if the time has already started with the timer. Once it hit 29, I was like, oh man, shit, I gotta wait.
And because people are so ignorant, they're not like how it used to be back in the day where they would see you and have a level of respect regardless of your age. Now it's the irritation of this person slowing me down and getting in my way.
Well, I had people bump into me when I was walking with my cane. I had to say to one lady, I said, "You don't see my cane?" And I was using my friend's cane at the time. She had lent me. It was a nice, beautiful pink cane, even though I don't like pink, but it was pretty. It was
Don't hate. Pink is not bad.
Barbie crap that's going on right now. Anyways, sorry. Sorry, everyone. Sorry, Beehive. I'm not a Beyonce fan, you know. I like some of her songs, but pink stuff. But you wouldn't believe that I had a pink graduation dress and for grade 8. But anyhow,
Listen, I used to do all pink. I used to go to Duffer Mall and buy those pink lace stockings to have my Susie Shear skirt and suit. Listen, Susie Shear was cool back in the day. If anybody wants to try to judge me right now, and Le Chateau was something you shopped and wore. Yeah, it had to be pastel pink, head to toe, purse for church. Yeah.
No, I don't like pink.
Now then I switched, and everything's like blue or black now. So yeah. I just want to drop this question in here while we're talking about vitamins. Is it better to take vitamins individually or a multivitamin would suffice?
I don't think multi works best personally.
No.
But again, I'm not a nutritionist. I would definitely reach out to super case person, but I personally don't believe multivitamins are better.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to layer on. Like you could be taking a multivitamin and it has everything in there. And again, nobody come for me. I'm not a medical professional either. I've just learned from my own journey that I could be taking a multivitamin and I still had to add additional zinc into my, like a supplement into my diet, as well as consume foods with zinc in it, as well as taking the multivitamin. So yeah, it's not. Yeah.
I personally rather the individual.
There you go. There's not enough of what you need in a multi. Yeah. Again, everybody go and get your medical healthcare practitioner involved. Don't come for either one of us in the chat or the two of us talking here. But just what we've learned is what we're going to share in our own journeys. And yeah, you need individual, right? Go and take a look.
Yeah.
I take 5 when I remember. Mrs. Wisdom, that's the thing, man. I have actually, where did I put it? I actually just had it. Let me see if I actually still have it. I have a pill container that I bought with the days to remind me when to take it. And you know what the pain in the ass is? Every Sunday I have to refill it for the next week. It takes a whole of 5-10 minutes, but just that step perplexes me, so I don't do it. And I should, because at least it's in my face and it reminds me that you need to take something in the morning or in the afternoon. Yeah.
So what I wanted to talk about before we kind of go off on anything separate was to highlight a few resources that helped me a great deal with understanding my blood clot,
Mm-hmm.
and also finding community as well. And in addition to resources, of course. And I would strongly encourage everyone to not, of course, follow me, please, but I'm not a medical professional. So I would honestly strongly encourage those to look at websites such as World Thrombosis Day, such as Thrombosis Canada, such as Stop the Clot, such as Blood Clot Recovery, such as the Rowan Foundation, which I work very closely with as well too, to just gain support on understanding things to look out for.
Mm-hmm.
Be mindful that a lot of, and it's not to dog any of these organizations because they've helped me a great deal, but be aware that a lot of these resources, even when you Google it, they will give you the standard things to look out for to determine whether or not you have a blood clot. There's an acronym that's used that says it's actually clot. So it's let me just confirm again because I always get it mixed up because I hate it so much. It's really bad to say that I hate it so much, but oh yeah. So the C stands for chest pain, L stands for lightheadedness, the O stands for out of breath, the T stands for leg tenderness, and the S stands for leg swelling. But as I just highlighted earlier with you guys, sometimes all of
They
that
don't come
doesn't
out.
happen, and you can very well have a blood clot. So whenever you're in doubt and you're having any experiences, don't care how heavy you're in the gym, how much you work out, or how great you are with your diet. If you're not feeling well and you're feeling symptoms that are feeling not too certain what's going on, go to the emergency. Not your doctor, but to the emergency. Bun your doctor, no offense, because your doctor will only have a limited amount of resources to be able to assess you properly. Despite the fact that I was misdiagnosed, I will always go to the hospital because my doctor doesn't have an ultrasound machine. My doctor doesn't have an ability to assess my blood work immediately or assess my urine sample or to do a CT scan. And for something like that, that can be very timely. You can have a blood clot today, you can die tomorrow because you don't know how fast that clot can move. And in both cases for me, I'm assuming my blood clot started weeks before without me realizing
Realizing it. Yeah. Yeah.
Some people mistake those same experiences or feelings as I did myself, thinking, oh, I wasn't feeling too well a couple of weeks ago. Oh, my pulse rate was a little high.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little short of breath. Oh, maybe it's because I walked up the stairs.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I
Ooh,
just need to take a moment. T. Dennis, you're gonna make me break down into tears right now.
oh,
Um,
honey.
yeah, wow.
Girl.
So I've connected with TE Dennis. I hope you don't mind me saying this. So TE
Yeah.
Dennis is normally in the chat throughout the COVID period. We've learned, TE Dennis more about her history, what she does, how she does it, what she used to do. Very much a part of the family, and she went missing in action quite a few times. But I have her on Instagram, so I reached out to her, and she told me a little bit of what was going on with her. So to see this here right now, I've seen her in the chats recently, and again, you just assume that she's okay. She's back. T. Dennis, my heart from my soul. It's like just ping me if you need anything. No, I have to. Yeah, God is good.
Are you in Toronto?
Uh, um, I hope it's okay. She's wet. She's east. She's your side.
Okay.
She's out your side. If you two are not connected,
Please. Yeah.
Exclamation mark BC. You can find her there. Whitby. I didn't know if you wanted me to say where you were, hun. So yeah,
Yeah,
Whitby.
that's fine. You can always reach out to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not anyone particular, but I do
It's support.
I do participate in a patient family advisory committee for Bridgepoint Health.
Yeah.
I'm actually the co-chair of our group, and so oftentimes
Keep
we're
talking.
always talking about different ways to ensure patient safety. And I probably recommend, if you're finding, and I don't know anything, I'm just putting it out there, but if you're finding any ways in which you're having challenges with your current medical team, please, I encourage you to source out someone else if you're feeling any which way. I don't know, but I'm just putting it out there for the room as well. Don't just settle with even your doctor that you may have, even if they are a specialist. Yeah.
Yeah. If at any point you question after this conversation, why are you doing this? Why the days you feel Apple Blossom, thank you. I knew Apple Blossom was gonna put the definition in there.
Thank you,
Like
sweetheart.
just remember that you are definitely here to help somebody. Even if it's just support of knowing that they're not alone.
Out of breath for O.
Out of breath for O. Okay, so Apple Blossom, I don't know if you caught that, but yes. Okay, and then what I'm also gonna say is maybe you and I can connect as well, and we can post the links. So if you want to tell me what all the links are, I will put it on my page. Epifonso, welcome in. I can put it on my page. I can tag you and put it out there just as a follow-up from this conversation, so people know your page, my page, get some more information.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Whew.
So now on the road.
You guys are killing me today.
Now that I'm on my recovery, which took a while to get there. I remember I used to have to use my walker to do exercises to support me. And therapy helped me a great deal. And I'm so grateful. I started off therapy with my with rehab, and then I had to source out my own rehab after I came home. And I was going to my former gym, which is in Scarborough, called Strengthen You, for therapy. And they'd have me doing the most basic exercises, which was so supportive and helpful, because I felt stripped of my former self. This was someone that was able to do burpees, pull-ups, chin-ups, lift the heaviest weights. Like, I went ham in the gym. I loved it, but I couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
So I had to start from ground zero. I had to walk with a cane up until 2022 for support for walking my long walk. So I'd go for therapy, and then COVID came in heavy and everything was shut down. And I had to have surgery in 2020 to help alleviate or any potential new blood clots occurring. And shortly after that, I connected with Forever Fit by Joel, who is my Pilates person, who helped me a great deal. I couldn't even bend my knee. I couldn't even I couldn't do a lot of stuff. Spent a whole full year with her. We were doing 3 days a week. And then after that, I mistakenly liked the post of Super K's.
And now he kicks your ass. Big shout out to Black Reaction Super K. Super K, I don't know if you have a specific page. I don't even think I'm following you on Instagram, but I know enough from
DJ Super K. Okay?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what it is.
Yeah, I see your post talking about him, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm not signing up for that. Let me, nope. now I can't avoid it because I feel like, like we should all be looking into it and find what works for us. Like it's not a one shoe fits all, right? There's certain things that you have to know, try to and moderate where you need to, because you can injure yourself by just trying to follow what you're seeing, right? Like do modified moves if you need to, right?
Course,
so yeah.
And
so was this while you're going through, because you mentioned being in your dark place for this?
Yeah.
Is this when you were like, you're kind of trying to you're trying to relearn yourself, really?
I had to learn who this new Angela was. That's my name, actually. Yikes. But call me Bloodclot Gyal, because that's what you guys know me as. But
my name is Tap. I don't have any other name. So yeah, I'm Tap.
I had to know the new Bloodclot Gyal, and figure out. It was tough. It was tough. It was very humbling. And I still experience it every weekend, every session of a class with Super K.
Wow. Disco Darren, it is, right? It is a really interesting.
A few years ago, what would you say helped you the most in terms of therapy? So strokes are different, right, from what I had. But what I found is consistency with her therapy will get her stronger. If she's not doing the work behind the scenes, it will take her longer, again, depending on what her disabilities are. Again, some people never fully recover from their stroke. I have a parent that had several, so it's hard to say what will help, but tell her not to give up.
Yeah.
Because at one point I wanted to give up because I didn't. I felt so embarrassed. Like I felt, which is stupid. I felt like as if I'll never be able to do anything again. I couldn't take long walks. There's no way that I'm going to a place that requires me to stand the whole time.
Yeah.
It was very humbling. I remember going to one of my first parties. This is a shameless plug here, and it's going to be an OG, Wayne Warner's Black Affair.
Wow.
In 2019, right?
Hated me when you said Wayne Warner. I felt vintage couture right now. Woo.
Original.
Yeah. Those of you in Toronto know that is
original.
Legacy.
The original.
Legacy foundation.
And I pick them up right now. The original. And
yeah.
The one that, put Toronto on the map that way.
Definitely.
And went to his party because, hey, I had a cane, but I had to go to his party.
Yeah.
And I remember shopping in the store, looking for something to wear, because that's what you do to Wayne Warner's party. You look for something to wear. And I'm going to touch on that, DJ Gyal. And I saw a girl, and she looked at me, and she's like, where are you going? Why don't you just wait until you're
better.
Don't need the cane anymore?
Yeah.
And I said to her, I said, you don't even understand how it felt to be basically in jail, it felt like, for 3 months. And beyond, because when I came home, I couldn't do anything. Couldn't even cook for myself.
Yeah.
So I'm able to go to this party. I'm going to go to this party, even if I can catch and sit somewhere for a bit. But I'm going to go and live my life. And fortunately, I did that because, sure enough, COVID happened.
Yeah.
Months later. I wasn't ready to go out. That's the truth. Leg was swelling. I had to always find somewhere to elevate my leg.
Wedge it up. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. There was not a point until maybe even still now, I still have to be mindful how long I have my foot down. And if I do have it down long, I'm pumping the gas. like as if I'm driving a standard stick car.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm constantly shaking it, or if not, elevating it up and down, doing kicks. It's so normal for me to do that because I can't afford for the blood to rush down to my leg and the circulation to have problems with my circulation. What was the question by DJ Giddy again?
Oh, DJ Gritty.
Gritty.
Hold on. Is it the original question that you were asking about the stroke, or the follow-up? Did she do a follow-up?
Yeah.
You did do a follow-up.
But okay, so
The water therapy?
While we're here with DH Lady, can we discuss some natural preventative measures that would minimize future clots? Walking, drinking water,
Gritty, repost your question.
Eating a lot of greens, stretching, Pilates, yoga.
Yeah, we don't move enough.
Weight.
Yeah.
Everything. Keep yourself active. Keep yourself moving.
Yeah.
Even
while we're on Twitch. I used to be on Twitch dancing, but now that we're sitting, like we sit and we type a lot, right?
Yeah. Limit the amount of alcohol too. If you smoke, limit your smoking as well. We're getting older. I don't think there's anyone in this room that's 20. And if you are, be prepared to start taking care of yourself too.
Now, do it now so you're not in recovery, right? So the question that Gritty asked before was, my sister uses a cane after a stroke 2 years ago. What has helped in terms of therapy? I don't think there was a follow-up question after that. She was just talking about water therapy.
Oh, yeah. And that was the reason why I went to Bridgepoint, because they had a pool, but I never had got the chance to experience the pool. But that is that
water
I heard.
Therapy. I've heard about water therapy quite a bit. King Mod, Team Shellings, welcome in, welcome in. Were you having leg cramps?
I did post blood clot. If I sat down for too long, it felt like fizzies in my leg. And I couldn't even step on it, how tender it was. I didn't have leg cramps per se during my last blood clot, but my first one, I had leg pain. And sorry, I might sound a little confusing here. Initially, I didn't have leg cramps, but during the duration of the blood clot, while it was getting worse, I had leg cramps. But it wasn't cramps. It felt like someone was stabbing my leg with a knife.
Jeez.
I had to be on, goodness, how can I forget the drugs that I was on? The cocktail. Hydromorphine. I was on it heavy, 3 times a day. I was so scared that I was going to become addicted to it. I begged the doctors to put me on a schedule so that he can wean me off before going home, because I'm by myself. And I worked downtown and I saw a lot of junkies and pardon me. And for me, it was the worst thing to ever happen to me, for me to be addicted to drugs. And I was concerned that I would have felt dependent on the medication to soothe my other wellness challenges. And I was mindful of that. So I was purposely not taking my medication. And one night, why did I feel it? It felt like someone was doing some ninja moves and just on my leg. And I couldn't obviously rest that night and sleep. They had to call the doctor and ask them to give me medication. So they thought I was already on medication.
Yeah.
But I already didn't dash it away, because I was determined to get myself off of the medication, because I was scared. I was really scared.
Wow. It's hard, right? Because I mean, doctors prescribe us for stuff and we don't want to take it. We want to take the natural way because a lot of us grow up where you take this tea and you make this bush tea here and you do these 1 2 things and you bounce back and you're fine. And sometimes you do need to rely on the medication. I'm not a pharmacist supporter. Don't come for me. But I had to learn the hard way that I did have to rely on medication to get me to a point, but I still had to do the work on natural living as much as possible and wellness, right? So sometimes you have to figure out what is the cocktail. It's not just prescription. It's not just completely no prescription. What's the right blend, right?
I mean, there's an assortment of natural remedies that people feel are best. Turmeric's good for thinning the
Yeah.
blood. Um,
Ginger is the Bible. Like
Ginger's
just
good too.
ginger does a lot of good.
Another tea, nettle tea is good too.
Yeah. Marshmallow
Um,
root, burdock,
right.
dandelion root.
Those
You see
things
these
are
people
good.
out there picking dandelion and you don't realize they're picking it for a reason.
So there's a lot of natural things you can take just to, keep your body right, but be careful
Yeah.
because lightheadedness, I experienced that when I had my first blood clot because of the blood thinners I was on, and I was anemic as well. Um, I had to end up get what's called iron transfusions every few weeks because of
Wow.
how bad things were for me. So, you don't want to start,
You can't just go cold turkey and jump into
no,
soursop leaf. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yes, that's true.
Oil of oregano. I posted that earlier. Yeah. Garlic. Yeah, garlic. As much as I hate the smell, garlic tea,
Black seed oil is good too.
black seed oil. I hear that. But again, that's another one of those where it's hard to find quality because everybody now knows everybody's out there buying black seed oil. So
It's
they're
like
just,
the sea moss.
yeah. Sea moss is another one. It's hard to
Yeah,
find authentic.
yeah. But again, as I said, be mindful and careful of not overindulging in too
Yeah.
many things because you thinning out your blood too much can be disastrous.
Yeah. And I'm making sure I pin the comment apple
And yes,
blossom. It's a
some
very, yeah,
medications should not be mixed with herbs
no,
too.
you have to be careful.
Yeah,
You could actually be doing worse.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. T Dennis, yeah, yeah, yeah. There's times I open up my cupboard and I'm just like, this can't be me. This is not how I was raised, with all this different
right. All
medication
this,
of this
yeah,
and that. And
medication,
yeah,
right? Like some pharmacy. I don't
yeah.
know.
Mish Mish, welcome in. Welcome in. Nice of you to join us. If you're not following, please follow Mish Mish. Um, uh, Culinary skills are next to our next level. Next level.
So the blood thinners that I was on with some strong stuff, I had to have an injection every single day. And because I have a needle phobia, despite having like 6 different large tattoos, I I couldn't do it. I just
There's
couldn't. I
something
felt
about
like,
that, eh? I'm terrified of needles, but yeah, I have tattoos, and I'm sitting there thinking, yeah, I'm okay
yeah,
to get a tattoo multiple time needle experience, but
there you
just
go,
to,
Ratty.
yeah,
Yeah,
see,
yeah. So I would have to go to a clinic daily for a year and a half to get injections, and I look like a drug addict. Bruises on my
yeah,
arms, all over my stomach, my inner thigh, all over the place. Um, and so during that time, there was no way that I could have taken turmeric. There was no way that I
yeah,
could put cinnamon and mix up all sorts of natural herbs. I would have passed out,
passed up, yeah, yeah,
right? So you've got to definitely be careful. But what I ended up doing after they transitioned me onto a pill form of medication, I did the worst thing, which I'll never advise anyone to do. I just stopped taking it as consistently. And that may have not been the smartest thing for me to have done, but the medication was having a big effect on me. I was feeling lightheaded. I lost hair. My locks are not as full as they used to be. And I just it might sound vain, but I just couldn't do it. I've already been robbed of so much. I just couldn't do it anymore. And I was very transparent with my doctor about that. And he was very happy with me for my honesty. And he actually listened and said to me, we're going to work with you. And he found me an alternative medication that is less, has less an effect on my body.
Your state of mind. I hope you don't mind if I want to talk about that a little bit more. I really do believe that we don't talk about mental health enough, mental wellness enough. We discredit it, usually because a doctor's just going to throw you a bunch of pills and you don't want to talk about it, or we were raised that you don't talk about any of this stuff. You keep it inside your behind closed doors. As you were going through this journey, you mentioned going through a dark time. Did you want to share a little bit more about that and how you recovered? Because I know you're talking about your recovery now.
I'll talk about it in a very surface level.
Sure.
Okay.
Whatever you're comfortable.
I'm a very joyous, happy, person. I always have a smile on my face. So after all of the things that were occurring after the blood clot, and as I mentioned, put me in a dark space, it was very uncomfortable for me to see myself that way. Fortunately for COVID happening, I was able to further isolate myself away from people, in which no one was able to see that side of me fully. It took a lot of therapy, a lot of talking, a lot of exchange of insurance numbers. And I'm laughing at it because, you know, how we are as West Indians. You have to find.
You don't go to therapy.
No. What I'm going to say is that, yes, that too, but you have to find joke and,
Yeah.
Kind of.
To get through.
Right?
People will say it, if I don't laugh, I'm going to cry.
Well, this is it.
And it's a real thing.
It's a real thing. For it to paralyze me to the point where I was unable to work, that should give you enough understanding of how challenging it was. And I'm still going and working through some of my challenges. And I'm so blessed that I have a fantastic healthcare team, in addition to my external resources that I've thought out on my own, which is a part of what's called self-advocating for yourself, taking your health in your own hands, finding ways outside of the traditional medications that they might suggest for you to take. Yes, take bad thing and make joke, right? Outside of the medications that they might suggest for you to take. Exercise has been the best outlet for me to help me balance some of the frustrations that I still have. Because I can talk to you all day about, finding ways to overcome it, go meditate, pray, take your walks, but I'm not going to lie, I'm still angry. I'm not going to lie. My life changed completely from what it used to be. I got robbed because of negligence. Yeah. And despite the fact that I tried to resolve it by going to, addressing it to patient relations, and nothing came of it, I feel like as if they basically told me what they needed to tell me. I don't matter. It doesn't matter. And they're the big bad wolves. Who's going to fight them for me?
Yeah.
What resources do I have to fight a big hospital? What mental health do I have within me to fight a big hospital? Yeah. So I have to work through some of those things. So most recently I had gone to, I had an accident. I burnt my hand pretty bad, 3rd-degree burn in April, actually on Easter Sunday. And the hospital, which I should have went to, which is just 10-minute walk away from me. I didn't go to it. I went to the hospital that I knew would be specializing in burns.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that the hospital is just right there, they could have taken, wrapped me up, fixed me up.
Yeah.
I don't trust them. Shortly after I was discharged out of rehab in December, I think that was the time when COVID was actually starting with us unknowingly knowing. I had gotten really sick. My pulse rate had really gone up and had a high fever. And after getting my injection at the clinic that I was going to, they advised me to go to the hospital to just make sure that I check out that I'm not having another pulmonary embolism. That's the world I live in. Any tightness in my chest, any funniness in my leg, I can't fool around. I have to go to the hospital. But again, there's no way that hospital that I went to is ever catching me in there again.
No.
Outside of other supports that they have in there, you're not going to take care of me where it's a life and death situation. I refuse. And I'll tell everyone intimately that I know not to go there. I'm not going to come on a forum like this and bash them, because who knows if I will be able to one day have the opportunity to, take legal action for their negligence. But I'll never feel safe there.
And that's the place we're supposed to go to feel safe, right?
It's 10 minutes away from me. What if I have a heart attack?
And that's the luxury that you're 10 minutes away.
Yeah. What if?
And you can't even go there.
10 minutes away. 12 minutes walking. Sorry. 4 minutes, 5 minutes drive. That's how close I am. And I will not go there. I could be missing a limb, falling off. I will
and you're not going.
And I will go to where I have to go. Just similar to the burn on my hand.
So you speak about self advocacy. How do others do it? How do they, like, I know that we've got a lot of life lessons in this conversation so far. How do we continue to stay eyes open and mindful, even if we don't have an ache in our back and a cramp over here? Like, how do we continue to just push forward? Because you're in a recovery, but this is now your everyday life.
Oh, it's a loaded question, because the answer is actually it varies it would vary from person to person.
Yeah.
I'm so blessed that I have a fantastic social group of friends and family that care and love me, that remind me to keep going, that are beyond just being friends. Like, you couldn't tell me we're not sisters. Couldn't tell me we're not brothers. And my family, my intimate family, has been great. But in addition to that, shedding the ignorance that I may have had at one point about speaking to someone intimately about some of my challenges that I was experiencing, because I thought I always had to be strong. I thought I always had to just, brush it off and keep going.
Yeah.
I remember meeting someone who unfortunately had exposure to someone who passed away from my ailment. And their response to me was, "At least you're alive."
Oof.
And I know they didn't mean it
It
in
still
a way
hits.
to diminish my experience in any way. I know they didn't mean it. I know they didn't. Yeah, thanks. Like my cup.
Everybody else in the chat, please take a moment, hydrate.
I know they didn't mean it in a way to hurt me. That took me a while to get to that space, of course. But it made me feel ashamed of the fact that I had gotten into this weak
State.
state
Yeah.
that I never was in before. I was always a person that I just kept going, kept going, kept going, kept doing, kept taking charge on things, and I couldn't do it anymore. And that's still very difficult for me because I'm a bit of, my family probably will admit, I'm a bit of a control freak.
It's not a bad thing.
I'm a little bit of an alpha. And I like to control a lot of things. And when I wasn't able to control so many things that happened after my blood clot, I didn't recognize who I was. And that was hard to reacquaint myself with this new person, this lesser of a person that I had become.
Yeah, and that's why I asked the question, right, about
and there's that, you know.
That has to be there, right? Many of us go through what we're going through, right, as well as you. And I always say when I'm talking to my peoples, they know who they are in the chat, I just want to feel normal. I don't want to wake up with what I'm living with. I want to wake up and feel normal. I want normal people problems. I want to stump my toe on my bed frame, and that's my problem for the day. Not I have a whole bunch of health stuff to navigate my day through. And a lot of people don't get that until they have a scenario like what you're talking about and what some of us are living through. Stumping your toe is the highlight of your day if you could even have that, because of all of the other stuff that pulls you through that medical state. Yeah, that is pain mo life. That's why I had to go there, right? And T Dennis, I know you would get it as well, right? Six Boss, what's normal? When you wake up with a bunch of ailments that takes away your freedom, your power, your control, your individual, your independence, you start to really appreciate what normal is. And normal is those little things like stumping your toe, which nobody ever wants to do, right? And that's exactly the point. So when I'm asking about the mental health and the wellness, and you mentioned therapy, and just I'm asking because I think a lot of us don't necessarily know how to do that in a safe space. You have people that are around you. Not everybody feels like they can trust that girlfriend or that male friend to say, this is how I'm really feeling. So you're blessed that way.
I actually do have, but I'm not, I'm very much, you know, brought up the same way everyone else is. I hold in a lot of my stuff. I handle a lot of my stuff independently. The only person who probably knows a lot more is really my therapist.
Yeah.
And that took a while because she's like, you never told me. I'm like, well, I have to feel safe with you first. And still, I don't tell them everything because I'm very suspicious, you know?
Yeah, it's hard.
Where are you bringing that information to? Who are you going to tell after? You know?
You're writing it down in your little notebook and you're going to do what with it?
Exactly.
Are you judging me? My thought is always, are you judging me? Yeah.
That too. And also the whole idea behind, as I said, I don't trust where that information is going after, right?
Yeah.
And who are you sharing it with, you know, after this session? What if you're subpoenaed and I mean, I haven't done anything, by the way.
Somebody right now is just like,
you know,
taking notes
from jail time or anything like that, you know, but I don't trust that. This world is, you know, it is what it is. So I still hold a lot of stuff personal, and I'm working through a lot of stuff personally to figure out things. But I'm in a better space than I was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Very grateful for the support, friends, my close girlfriends, my family. I love them dearly. You know, they've helped me a great deal. And music.
Music is it.
Music
has
helped me a great deal.
Yeah, yeah. And that's why we're all here, right? Like music is what pulled us together. You know, it's amazing the power that music has, where I never would have met you, you know, to know that, you know, I don't go out often. I've retired from that life, but to know that, you know, you and I are sitting here as sisters having this conversation with a community of people all over the world, And we're all sharing stories. Six Boss, yeah, you've been going through it where you've normalized it. Shar, you mentioned that your body can go into shock if you don't take what you need to do, right? T. Dennis is living live right now with what she's going through. We all have our own version of what normal feels it needs to be. And yeah, normal is overrated, but when you're going through the pain mentally or physically about your ailments, you really, anything other than that is normal, right? Like just
And I
those little things
also,
you take for granted become the
yeah,
normal that you want.
and also my exposure with working in the patient family advisory committee helped me a great deal to see things through a dual lens and kind of understand why some of the mishaps or issues that I experienced happen,
Mm,
especially based on our current state within our healthcare right now.
yeah,
If there is lack of resources, of course, resources not only being money, but bodies as well too, and individuals who are burnt out, and it's not just only the racial biases, it's a combination of those things as well that can result in terrible health care. So it's helped me heal a little more, not have complete forgiveness because there's a lot that I haven't exposed tonight, or if not, not even on my Instagram page, that
yeah.
are definitely unforgiving things that happened to me during my stay in acute care at the hospital. Um, but it's just kind of having that understanding that, okay, this is on me. I got to make sure when I go to the hospital, I come prepared.
Yeah.
I have my phone on voice record. I have a list of questions that I'm gonna ask. I don't understand something, I'm gonna ask again.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
sometimes it's caught me most recently where I'm like, I'm listening to the information, but the information is so overwhelming that I've walked out of the office. And then I've walked back in to say, hey, wait, by the way, but can you explain that again to me? Or go back and book another appointment to get the clarification.
Yeah.
Or, you know, just making sure you just let them know and remind them, in my case, hey, you know what happened to me 4 years ago, right?
Like, let's not go through that again.
Because in my eyes, everyone's guilty of what happened to me 4 years ago in terms of the medical team.
Yeah.
Every one of them. Not one of them's off the hook. Some of them may have not earned the total um, responsibility with regards to my misdiagnosis,
They're
but,
accountable.
but everyone's accountable, as you said.
Yeah, they're accountable.
Everyone's accountable.
They're not meteorologists where they're allowed to make a mistake and nobody penalizes
Not
them.
not like that. Not for
No,
someone who
it's someone's life.
previously, just 5 years ago, went to that went to a hospital and had a blood clot. Not for someone who suffers with fibroids. Not for someone who just 8 months prior to that last visit was in the hospital because she thought she was having another blood clot. There was no excuse for what happened. There was no excuse for even my doctor, for even himself, even though the report was vague. Sorry, there, he's to blame too. Like, even though he doesn't own the responsibility of the report, but I went home that same day when he said he couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. What if I had collapsed? What if I had a heart attack that night? What if I didn't wake up because the clot traveled?
They would find some way to write it off and hold them unaccountable,
Of course,
put the
of
blame on
course,
you,
of course.
and send you home with
Body
condolences.
bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. So I don't trust them. So I walk with my backpack, mental block
Yeah.
backpack of,
You have to. You
I'm
have to
on
ask
guard.
questions.
I don't trust what he said that, but I don't feel that
Yeah.
all the time. all the time.
I want to post, I saw that comment. M. Lewis, welcome in. Everybody who has joined late that we didn't say hi to, welcome into In Conversation with myself, Tap the Soul, and Bloodclot Gyal, who has been taking us through a life journey. All of us, a life journey. This is like a master class right about now.
And Apple Blossom, thank you for that comment. It's actually something that I love doing. Like my profession, I'm a person that's always giving information. I love the counseling aspect of my profession. And so since being pivoting, I would like to say, and finding the outlet of my Bloodclot Gyal page, it's been very therapeutic to help others and just share my world and provide information about ways in which to advocate for yourself, ways in which to, look out for certain things. And I add a little humor in there. I don't see people laughing too much at some of my videos, but only a few of you get some of my jokes. Like Go Ratty, thank you. I'm a little crazy sometimes with some of my videos. No one laughs, but anyhow. That's my hidden talent. I'm a comedian.
You're a comedian. I'm gonna see you in the Absolute Club up the street from my house one day with tricks.
Right. Is there any correlation between having one health condition that increases one's chance of developing blood clots later on? Yeah, for sure. I'll admit right off the bat.
Good question.
Which is not one of the things that are listed. It's having fibroids.
Yeah.
It can impact the veins. Pregnancy, pre-existing health conditions, pre-existing heart disease, surgery, a break or fall can lead to a blood clot. Geez, I'm like going off the top of my head because I had wrote some stuff down to cancer, inflammatory bowel disease, birth control, which is not a health condition, but birth control.
It does. It changes it alters your body.
Yeah, it can change your hormone levels and potentially can be at risk of having a blood clot. I mentioned fractures, surgery, and different and genetics as well too.
Yeah. Cash Money Chick, welcome. Candy Girl, blood disorders, traumatic injuries, sports injuries, yeah,
sports injuries. I said heart disease, surgery, obesity, different types of syndromes, like what I mentioned, May-Thurner syndrome. There's one called Nutcracker syndrome that can lead to you having blood clots, being susceptible. One thing I should have mentioned is, and I failed in this regard, is that some people, similar to myself, when you have a massive blood clot like myself, you have what's called post-thrombotic syndrome. And what that is that you can end up having this condition up to maybe 2 months post blood clot, up to 2 years or beyond. And initially what it is that you have constant issues with your legs, swelling. You can have, it's like sores on your leg, blotchiness, skin discoloration, swelling, constant swelling, and stuff of that sort, and pain. So it never really goes away. And in my condition, I still have symptoms of post-thrombotic syndrome, but what has helped me a great deal is keeping active and trying to drink my water. I'm great at that, but keeping myself fueled, but mainly working out with Forever Fit by Joel and working out with Super K Fitness has really helped me, and my walk. I recently just bought a stationary stepper because I haven't been out for my walk because the weather is so unpredictable.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping to start using it a little bit more. I just bought it, so don't hold me to it, just so that I keep the legs circulating.
One of the questions that came up earlier that kind of ties into this is Shar, she had asked a question about you being able to vacation far from home.
I can. I just have to know to wear my compression socks, for sure, for long travels and long walks. And also, in addition to that, I have to elevate. I have to know to elevate and drink my water.
Your water.
I'm
Yeah.
not prohibited to travel, but I know that if I don't do those things, I'm basically setting myself up.
Wow. Italian Gyal, welcome in. Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
You've overdosed us with information. I hope you realize that.
I hope I did.
She's like,
I really
mission
hope I did.
accomplished.
I hope I did. It's a lot. It's a lot.
It is a lot.
It's a lot.
And I think it's a lot that we're all trying to process, right? Because as much as, and I keep saying it, as much as we're talking about your journey, you're talking about a lot of things that we can relate to that may not be blood clots, but it's still, how are we taking care of ourselves? What's our wellness path? And we don't do that well, myself included, right? I say, like, I'm not, like, we really take it for granted. We wake up every day and we go. And you get up the next day and you go and you say you're going to do these things, but you don't. Like, we're not holding ourselves accountable until we hear these stories. And T.E. Dennis and Six Boss, you've been dealing with it your whole life. Like, there's all of us that's gone through this. Like, we have to remind ourselves to support each other.
Whether you're religious or not, and this might be conflicting with some, but I feel having faith is so important. And I'm not saying you have to be like full on Christian or anything of that sort, but you have to give thanks, man. You have to give thanks for even the
you have to
things, man, because whether you believe in whatever you believe in, there's something beyond us. Whatever it is, you have to have some type of faith, man, because that's the anchor that helps too, for me.
Yeah.
Right? In addition to having the support system, the friends, and the medical team. When I'm by myself, I have to wake up and say, thank you. Got up this morning. You understand?
Selected Jinx, welcome in. Happy subversary. These things I never seem to see unless I look down at my phone. Let me shout out my little brother. Welcome in, welcome in. My little music brother, before everybody's just like, are you two? No, we're not. If you watch our In Conversation before, we act like brother and sister. And, you know, he annoys the hell out of me calling me Tapster. But I'm glad that you are here lurking and getting so much information. It's a lot of information. Thanks for being here, little bro. I mean, there's people here. I never pay attention to numbers, but yeah. No welcome, and I've been here listening. See what I mean? You can't just take the welcome and just keep it going. You have to get the last word. You get the last word. There you go. There you go. You happy now? Sorry, I was reading through the comments as well. I'm glad you're here, Jinx. Italian Gyal, yeah. Hush and keep. Oh, yeah. So anyways, like he's putting me in my place right now. When we start talking about your road to recovery, where you are now, you know all the steps that you can go on vacation, you can live a normal life. People will question that. You have beliefs in a higher power, right? Trying to play in a safe box because I don't want to offend somebody.
Exactly.
I mean, we all grew up how we grew up, and most of us sat in a church. I'm just going to call it for what it is. What you decide to do after that is your business, right? But
and I believe it should be personal, to be honest with you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I'm not out here telling you that I worship, whatever. I do my own personal thing.
Yeah.
And
you have to do what's
right.
That
are more open to their transactions with religion.
Yeah.
I'm not. That's not my thing. I do my own little intimate thing. Some people might feel, oh, you should worship him too. You should worship that one too. I'm like, you do you.
you're
I do.
doing this, and this is
This is
witch
an intimate
magic and
relationship.
blah blah blah.
Yeah,
And
it's an intimate relationship I have, and I don't want to come out here and start talking about you know stuff like
yeah,
that. Like that's it's too intimate, And
no.
there's also religion's very a complex subject for me as well, which I won't
Hmm.
go into as well. So
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I'm just like, I'm not even
yeah,
gonna touch that because, I'm sure my mother
religion,
would have a couple of
religion,
words to
not
say to me right about
spirituality,
now. So yeah,
not spirituality. I'm talking religion. There's
yeah,
so much division, and so anyhow.
exactly. We have a question before we continue with our conversation. Let's take a pause. When you went through therapy for mental health, could you share one thing you learned for yourself to get you through it? Good question, Six. I don't know if that's something that might be too personal to share.
I'm not sure if I understand the question. Sorry. When you went through therapy for your mental health, could you share one thing you learned for yourself to get through it?
Some people don't get through it really well, right?
That's ongoing. You know, um, I think therapy. I think therapy for me is hard because it's like you're talking to this one person about your business, and sometimes the responses for me feel a bit too, I don't know, I don't want to say
Textbook.
wishy-washy, right? Maybe textbook response,
It's not
right?
personalized.
And it almost just kind of condones the challenges, or not condones it, but I'm using the wrong words here. It kind of makes me feel like as if sometimes there's no real result. So sometimes I do
Mm,
get frustrated with therapy. I don't think it's gonna sound conflicting, but I don't think therapy is the only thing you can possibly do to
no,
start feeling better with your wellness. You've got to do
have
a
to do the
lot
work.
of stuff on your own, and
Yeah.
that took a long time for me to get to that space too, with understanding, because I was pissed that why am I not feeling better?
Mm,
Why is this not
mm,
working? I'm talking my business to somebody, and why is this not working quick
yeah.
enough?
Yeah.
And I have to
Yeah.
recognize that, you got to do some of the stuff yourself, and and that's hard. That's some hard stuff, But I don't know. That question's hard to answer.
But you gave a really, and
Be
Six said it. It's a
transparent
dope
about it.
answer, right? Because I think a lot of us, I mean, just the fact that you go is one thing, but to your point, you can't rely on, just like you can't rely on prescriptions. You cannot rely on a therapist. You have to do the work. Like you have to put in your own work for your own well-being.
Yes, regret sometimes. It's true,
Yeah,
Apple Blossom. It's
yeah,
true.
that's a really
You
good
get
one
to a
too.
point where it's like, this is foolishness, and you just want to retreat back into your normal, way of just doing things, or if not, in my case, sometimes just kind of just to the back of the head again.
Yeah. Yeah,
Work
as
on,
Six says, action, not a bag of mouth. Yeah.
right? Yeah, like sometimes it's annoying. It's not even annoying talking about stuff. Like, what? You're still here? How many years now? Come on,
Yeah.
right? So you get pissed off at that with that too, right? But as I said, I go back to having an anchor, a faith, and my good friend Tash gave me this cup, this faith. Faith, with
Nice.
faith, all things are possible, right? And my good friends that are like my family, and being able to escape with music and
Yeah.
nature, my walks,
Yeah.
and my
That is true.
fitness as well.
Yeah.
My fitness, I think I'd be a real angry girl
If you didn't
because
have that outlet.
I didn't have that outlet. Really angry girl.
Yeah. Yeah. Lewis, I know you might have missed the first part of this. It will be on YouTube later. We touched on
Yes,
that,
it's
the
so
cultural
true.
bias. Yeah.
Yeah, but and that spills over in therapy too, because a
Yeah.
lot of these therapists, unfortunately, are not cultured. You're there, you're in there talking to them about stuff, and they're like, you can see their faces looking kind of like as if, oh no, do I give you a Kleenex?
Yeah. They're
Oh,
unsure.
oh wow. I wasn't supposed to laugh at that one. Well, that's
It's
just
like,
how we deal
oops.
with things. Like, tell you something
Yeah.
that's a little too traumatic, and I'm laughing. It's not because I don't think it's important or it's serious, but that's just how I've had to deal with stuff. Like, do you have a
Um,
support group where you meet on a regular basis besides therapist? No. That doesn't work for me. Personally, might work for somebody else. I don't like multiple persons in my business. I'm very private. So if you're a licensed person, yes, you're the one. My insurance goes through. You've had to sign all the letters and everything that adheres to confidentiality. Um, but I won't. I don't feel personally comfortable with group sessions unless it's something that you can extract without always having to provide information
yeah.
towards.
Yeah.
Sure. Um, Facebook groups are great to like read the
The
comments that come
comments.
through and what people are going through with blood clots and stuff like that. What I've come to realize is that the community is unrecognized um, because of this element of reoccurrence, potential having another blood clot. I can walk out here after this live right now and potentially have another blood clot.
I was going to ask you about that. Does that fear hold you back at any point in time?
It holds me back at sometimes doing certain stretches. It holds me back at rubbing the foam roller on my left leg. It holds me back when my leg is tired and I don't want to go anywhere. It holds me back from going to certain events because I'm like, I'm gonna stand for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
Nah. Or I'll go for 2 hours because I know I can tolerate it, right? It holds me back from being a little fashionable and not being able to wear the shoes that I want to wear.
Yeah.
It holds me back in terms of how my leg looks now. It's not ugly, but to me, it's not. It's I have all these little blotches on it because that's just how that's my battle scars now.
Yeah.
Um, One leg is a little bigger than the other now, you know. So certain boots that I have, I can't wear them anymore. If I'm
Is that
thinking about
permanent for you now, or will it continue to
it
normalize?
is permanent because of the damage that the
Okay.
clot did to my veins. In fact, I still have clots in my left leg, which won't go anywhere. But yeah, it's not extreme because I could show you pictures of how different the leg looks at
Yeah.
one point, but it's obvious to me, you know. And you are your own critic, so you'll notice the pimple that nobody notices. You know what I
Of
mean?
course. Of course. Of course.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're getting some parental conversations here. Body breaks, anybody? Yeah. You
What's
know.
that?
That's Apple Blossom making sure that we are moving our bodies.
Yeah,
We are
I've been
stretching.
pumping the gas.
We're good
You
over
know,
here. Every once in a
thank
while, you're
you.
seeing me do the wiggle, so my ass isn't numb. Those who have been here before, they hear it. I sit on the same desk chair pretty much from 7 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night right now. So every once in a while, my butt's just like, yeah, we ain't here for this. Yeah. So I have to do a little wiggle, move it all around. Yeah, moving around. Yes.
And I mean, when I talk about fashion, I'm not trying to be vain or anything like that, but you know, I feel still relatively young. Give me a break, you know. I still want to look cute.
It
Right?
limits. Yeah.
So sometimes, wearing a certain shoe, oh man. Good thing COVID came along because it opened up that world of comfort where people wear running shoes to parties, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's okay, right?
Yeah, that's true. Olox, have you found that having this can get very dangerous, has changed your life to change up your day-to-day living?
Having it twice did that to me. The first time, I'll be completely transparent. I was ignorant to the blood clot. I didn't make much of it. My mom worried more than I worried about my blood clot. My friends worried more. Some of my friends that I had experienced intimate family and closer friends or acquaintances that I knew who had passed away with the blood clot. For me, I just thought, oh, it's just a blood clot. My mother had a blood clot when she had me, actually. So that would have been how many 100 years ago? But hers was pregnancy related, right? And with that being said, I just thought, oh, it's nothing. I'll get over it. 3 months on blood thinners. Yeah, I had to be on iron transfusion for every 2.5 weeks, go to Sunnybrook Hospital and get strapped up. Again, never thought much of it. Recovered 6 months later, back in the gym, working out. And that following year, I was playing math. Like it was, and then 2019,
It all came back again.
that rocked my world
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it wasn't similar. I still live with the fear of not knowing if I'm missing symptoms sometimes.
Yeah.
Some days, as I said, I'll mention the foam roller example. I don't use it on my left leg the way I should because it's so tender in comparison to the
To
right
the
leg.
other leg. Yeah.
And I spoke to my doctor about that, and he's like, "That's a real concern. I get it, but you can do it." And even though he's told me that
You're not there yet.
trust factor still
Yeah.
in the back of my head, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
I might disrupt something. I might have another clot. So it has affected my performance with doing damn ass burpees, Super K. Hopefully you can hear that. So you can have some mercy on me.
He won't, because he was working out and chiming into the conversation. So he ain't going to have no flexibility on you right about now. Blessings 1973, welcome in and thank you. If your listeners are there on Facebook, hi, welcome in. You are in conversation with Tap the Soul and Bloodclot Gyal, and we are talking about her wellness journey. This will be posted on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram. Follow her on Instagram. And there you go. I don't even know if I'm supposed to be playing. And YouTube. There you go. Yeah. And Apple Blossom, if you could, do all the things that I don't do very well in terms of putting up the links and and commands, thank you. That'd be awesome. See, this is why I have to rely on good people to help me. Because I want to pin Six's comment. It said if you connect with the grass, earth, salt water, and proper vitamin D, the body can naturally heal itself from anything. Don't quote me. Well, we just quoted you. I think a lot of it does come back to nature. I don't think it's going to be the 100 be all and end all, depending on where you are. But
we got to recognize. Sorry, I don't.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
We got to recognize, like, as much as we want to connect to the natural stuff, let's be very honest with ourselves. Where are those natural stuff? Where are those seeds coming from? A lot of them are GMO'd, even if you think you're buying organic.
Yeah.
Who's regulating that organic world? The soil is contaminated.
It's contaminated. Yeah.
So many. The environment alone, the air. Like you can try to do all those things. I'm not saying not to, and I'm not trying to be like Debbie Downer or whatever, negative, right? But just being mindful that you could do all of those things and still die of cancer.
Yeah. But I mean, you're a prime example. You were vegan, you were exercising, you're living a good, healthy life. And look at the journey that you went through.
But when I assessed it, as I said to you earlier, and I was very transparent about it, I was a junk food vegan.
True. But but you see, that's where you start going into the different layers of it. But if you just do the tagging, on the outside, you're a perfectly healthy individual living
Yeah,
what we should all be living.
they were shocked themselves.
Yeah.
The first clot, they were shocked because they're like, "You're active. You're not obese.
Yeah.
It's not a blood clot." In fact, the night that I went to the emergency, he just gave me a blood thinner in my stomach, a shot in my stomach, just in case. I went back the next day to go and get the ultrasound done, and the ER doctor was like, "Miss Beckford, oh gosh, you give me my government name, blood clot gal." I don't think it's a blood clot. The emergency doctor had to come with his tail between his legs. Miss Blood Clot gal. I think it is. I'm so sorry, but you have a massive blood clot that's in your groin. The next place for it to go and travel would have been your lungs. Who would have known 5 years later? My worst fear happened, and it traveled to both of my lungs.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Right, Keith? The thought of the doctor calling you blood clot is wild. Can you imagine, though? Especially if you had like a West Indian doctor at that, because
I
he's
do
gonna.
actually. My
There
main
you go.
primary care physician, he's Asian descent, but he's Jamaican, and he laughs at my name all the
All the
time.
time. All the time.
My other doctors laugh at it. Like, there's people who won't call me my real name now, which is crazy to me because they've known me
Forever. But now they just call you blood clot gal. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, this was incredible.
It was. It was. I'm thinking that we should probably wrap this up. I know that we can definitely talk for hours. I would like to do a follow up with you and just even the sharing of content. Again, those of us who are not following us, if you can please follow us on Instagram. I'm here almost every Wednesday doing something on Twitch. Please check the YouTube. I will be posting this hopefully by the weekend. JCap, thank you very much for the kind words. I'm really just glad everybody's enjoying it. When I do this, I never know who's going to show up. It's never about numbers for me. I always say it's time and energy. And there's so many of us that sit here in these conversations, type on a screen, shaking our peaches and then doing whatever. And we're living with these conversations. Like, this is our life behind the screen, right? I say it now, you guys are, those who follow me, they see me posting, behind my smile. All of us have something going on behind our smiles, and some of it may be light and some of it may be heavy, depending on your threshold. I have to say, Blood Clot Gal, thank you again. Like, I really, truly appreciate you being willing to let us into your intimate life and share with us what you're sharing with us. I'm telling you guys, follow her page. And everything that we're saying here, this is not you hear this and you know you're not doing good with the vitamins, you're not drinking your water, you're not this, you're not that. You're going to turn off the stream, you're going to go twerk it up in somebody else's channel. You're going to wake up tomorrow morning and you carry on with the same behavior you're carrying on with. This is really that eye opener, that reminder, that message that if you've got something that you're not paying attention to, pay attention to it. Here's your warning. And it's a soft warning, or it could be a worse warning, right? Lady Neeks, welcome in. Snakey the Legend. This one's gonna sit with me for a bit. I think every one of these conversations I've had, there's stuff that comes up, and it really this sits with you. This is real. This is real. One day I will do what you're doing, and I will tell my story. Not today. But this is hitting home a lot deeper, and it may not be blood clots, but it doesn't take away from your experience. If you're looking for a sign, this is it. 6 Boss, exactly. I'm pinning your comment. We take this for granted, right? Oh yeah, it was a good conversation. And we go, and then you start feeling that pain. You're like, oh shit, that was 2 weeks ago. I did nothing, right? Yeah. So if it's anything that I can say in this conversation, when you wake up tomorrow, before you go to bed tonight, just do one thing for yourself more than what you did the day before, the hour before, the week before. Just one thing. And pay attention to the signs that your body is telling you, because it's telling you something.
And one thing I might add, and through my experience as well, is the challenge that I might add to 6 Boss's question is that having self-compassion for self. One of my friends just reminded me about that. That can be very difficult, to be forgiving and give yourself grace while you're going through your challenges. I'm very much, I suffer with that. That if I can be transparent about anything, is that I
Yeah.
don't give myself enough grace.
No.
I don't know if it's a cultural thing, whatever it
I think
is.
so. It's our upbringing, what we're taught, right?
Right.
We're taught to be tough.
Just, your arm's still good, but it's broken. Go work.
Cut and go
You
through.
know, I come from that worker's mindset,
Yeah.
so it was very difficult for me to transition into this take care of self and my wellness mindset.
Yeah.
I still struggle with it because I feel a foolishness, man. Just get yourself together and do what you have to do, right?
Yeah.
You know, so it's giving yourself grace and having self-compassion.
Yeah.
Thank you, Andrea, for that reminder.
Yeah. Yeah.
A big struggle.
It is. It is. And I think we all have that, right? Because again, I'm not trying to exclude anybody who is not Black in this conversation, but we're taught to be strong Black women. We're expected to be strong Black women, and if we're anything less than, we're viewed as weak.
Yeah.
And then that's a bigger problem, right? So it's just you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. And I think we need to remove all of that, and just as you said, allow ourselves to have grace, whether we're weak or strong, whatever we're going through.
Everyone processes their journey differently.
Differently,
And
yeah.
don't make anyone make you feel less than if you're challenged by it in any which way.
Yeah.
And that's their problem.
Yeah, it is.
I mean,
But sometimes it does eat away at us. I can speak for myself, right? There's sometimes, and I honestly, I'm going through it right now. Candy Girl is like she hears a lot. I don't like the fact that I'm not as independent as I normally am. I've told you guys I've moved my living situation. I've had to make changes because of my health. It wasn't in my plan.
wow.
I had no intention of giving up my gorgeous view that you guys see me post on Instagram all the time. I had to make changes because of my health. And for me, it changes you because I've always been a strong Black woman. And now I'm dependent, It's not something you're raised to deal with mentally, because then you feel like you're less than. And then I come back to you want to feel normal. And I keep doing this because everyone has that definition, right?
Everyone
normal
does.
For me is not being dependent on anyone.
And even talking about this, like,
yeah,
for me, it's weird because I'm like, geez, the amount of people that go watch this video now that think that they can come talk up in my face and say certain things to me. I might have to bring out the chair because
you had to bring the chair to my stream.
Really? This has nothing to do with race. I might have to Alabama anybody who thinks that because me I talk to and get little support and help that I'm any weak person, eh? Oh, I might have to Alabama. All right, you stay there. I have a chair, I already have a chair. Or went on sale. Or sorry, it got expensive. I already have a chair. All right. I walk with buckle in my hand. Don't play with me. I'm still Angela. I'm still hard. I'm still who I am. Okay? Don't play with me.
For all of us that were feeling emotional, we've now taken it to comedy hour, and here we are. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. This is awesome. Yeah.
All right.
Scarborough things. Yeah. Yeah. All the Scarborough people. I saw go on and people
right.
chat.
Fling my hat to her mat.
Yes, Jinx, exactly. Fling the hat first. Who's swimming in Lake Ontario? Let me see now. Who's swimming in Lake Ontario for coming? Yeah.
You can go and listen to this podcast and think that I'm weak, eh? Don't play with me.
No, don't.
Don't play.
Yeah.
Don't play. Yeah.
Don't be fooled by the one or two moments.
Don't play.
Will still pop off.
Don't play.
Yeah.
I'm not somebody.
Exactly, Six Boss. It is poison water. But listen, if somebody needs an ass whipping, all of us who don't know how to swim, I do know how to swim. Those who don't know how to swim will learn how to swim real quick. Real quick. So I'm going to wrap this up. Do you have anything else that you want to say before I change the scene of this? When I close this, please stay on. Rosemags, welcome in, honey. You are kind of late, kind of not late. You can catch us on YouTube in a couple of days. What I wanted to say was, once again, I want to thank you for sharing your story. I would like to make sure that you and I connect and put some links on our pages, on our Instagram pages, so you guys can go and do your own research and find some facts as well. And hopefully that will encourage you to take care of your health. From here, Apple Blossom, it is only right that we go to Mr. Black's. It is only right. I can't even say I'm going to be able to be there because I am exhausted, but I wanted to make sure that we give love back to Blacks. Yeah. It's this chuckling because it's awesome. In regards to me, those of you who did not see the clip before, I'm going to have a closing clip. On Saturday, I'm going to be a part of the Female Empowerment Raid that is going to be on Twitch. I don't know what time it starts. I just know that I will be on at 9 o'clock. It will be just me. There will be no guests. So it'll be me and any one of you that show up. I will be talking about, you'll see when I get here and when you show up. Next week, I will be in conversation with DJ Gritty, who is in the chat. The week after that, we have the Born from Music Raid Volume 6. But for anything else I'm not remembering right now, please watch the outro. When is it? Sorry, when is what, sweetie? I don't know. 6, put words. Saturday? Yes, Saturday. And I'm going to, because I'm not one of those people, DJ Gritty is also celebrating her 1-year Twitch anniversary, so she will also be streaming. So hopefully I'll be able to check out what she's doing, and I will also be able to support the Female Empowerment Raid. And I think it's a good cause, and hopefully we'll be able to share communities. I'm about community without barriers. So if we can cross-pollinate and share and pop in here and there and support each other, then that's what we should be doing. As I get ready to raid out, Apple Blossom, if you can drop the raid out message, that would be great. You folks will not see us in a few seconds. I'm going to put the screen up. It's going to loop. Please watch and see what's coming down the pipe. Again, from my soul, your time, your energy, you guys show up. I really, truly appreciate the fact that you guys show up and you stayed for the conversation. Those who came and left, I am glad that you still made a pass through. We will speak again soon. Love, peace, and blessings.
Bye, everyone.